Hello there, and welcome back.
What is this place?
Disconnected.
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 Disconnected. Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected. Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
I'm starting to feel disconnected.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Hey, all, and welcome to Reconnected, another Thursday here live, and here with one of the big guns. We got Mr. Brian Saur from Just the Discs. Hey, buddy.
How you doing, man? You always got to embarrass me.
And Barry, I mean, let's be honest. In this space, you are a genuine celebrity. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
people adore you. People love you. People want to take pictures with you out in front of New Beverly. Like, what is that like? That's amazing.
I mean, it's a very localized celebrity if it's a celebrity at all. You know,
Not
if you're at the New Beverly, if you're at the Vista, maybe it might happen, but otherwise, you know, it's not a thing. So, but that's very kind. I appreciate it.
Or if you're like me, you just invite Brian out to Korean barbecue and you have to take the picture there. That works too.
Yeah. I have a story about that later when we get into what we've been watching.
Ooh, interesting. All right. I'm genuinely stoked you're here. You obviously host the Pure Cinema podcast. You are the face, the voice, the name behind Just the Discs. You have been doing a lot of screenings around the Los Angeles area. Have been doing what you can to hold up the world of cinema on your shoulders. How's everything been going?
Everything's going pretty good. It has been, I was just talking to you before we got live here, and it's been an interesting year because it's been about a year since I was on, and folks are very sweet. And it's been a lot has happened, I think, for both of us, certainly. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on with you, which people know about, and which I'm very excited about. Congrats on Antenna, and
Thanks.
I can't wait. But personally, just real quickly, before when I spoke to you last year, I was married, and I am not married now. And
Big difference.
It's a big difference, and that's okay. You know, it was an amicable thing. It was just something that it was just time for it to happen. But so I'm in a different space. If you've been watching my channel, you know this is my apartment. This is not my house, and you know, things are pretty good. I have a girlfriend, and she's great, and so I spend a lot of time with her, a lot of time watching movies with her. In fact, some of the movies I might talk about if we talk about recent watches would be things we've watched and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been, in terms of a personal shift, it's probably been one of the biggest in recent memory in my life. But for the good, ultimately, you know. So
how about some Pure Cinema highlights from this last year? What would have been some of the big standout moments for you?
Let's see, Pure Cinema. I mean, it's just an ongoing thing. We had a nice screening of Zero Effect as part of the American Cinematheque Friend of the Fast series. That was really neat. I know that we had some folks in the crowd there that had never seen that one before, and it went over well. And you know, here's fingers crossed, here's hoping for a Blu-ray. That'd be great for that. But I'm trying to think. I don't know. We did our Kubrick episodes. Those were well received. We had Edgar Wright on the show.
Just a little guy named Edgar Wright. No big deal.
He's been, I gotta say, not to be whatever, but he's been really sweet about enjoying the show. Like, you know, sent me a message saying how much he liked the Kubrick episodes and stuff. Just stuff like that. You're just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And that's been really nice. The Kubrick, I think, was one of the highlights. The Kubrick double episode we did got a lot of nice feedback and was a lot of work, but worth it. And yeah, I mean, we just keep going. You know, we just keep going. You know, thinking about new episodes, and that is a lot of what helps me put my movie watching focus onto things and not get scattered. You know, I like having stuff to do and stuff to research.
I have not thought about it in a long time. What is this, year 7 of Pure Cinema?
Actually, we're gonna be starting into 9.
Oh Jesus!
2017, February 2017. So it'll be 9 years in February.
For some reason, I thought it was 2018. Yeah, that's insanity.
Yeah, it's nuts, and we're excited about 10 years. We got to come up with something good for that. I don't know what we're gonna do, but yeah, that's a long time. It's a long time. You realize that, like, you know, if there's younger people that listen, like one of the things that got me, I think it was last year. maybe it was 2024. We had a kid come up to me at the New Bev, and he was talking about how he'd been listening since he was in high school or something. And you think about 9 years, you're like, well, that's, 2 entire high school classes went through, if they, not to say that young people are listening to the show, because it's a lot of older people, but there are some younger folks that listen, and it's crazy to think 9 years is a really long time for a lot of people and younger,
This is true. I've been doing that myself lately. It's really interesting when you're like gauging time frames in terms of years. The number doesn't always sound big, but I started thinking about it and I was like, wait, my oldest was 6 years old when I started Disconnected. He's literally about to go into middle school. Like,
Wow.
that is so much of his adolescent life that's just been, oh, my dad's on YouTube. And now, like, my youngest is saying that he wants to make movies when he's older now. My oldest is writing essays about paranormal activity and making fun short films on his Google Chrome for school.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Mimicking paranormal activity.
I love that.
And I mean, none of this would have happened, I don't think, if I wasn't doing stuff in front of a camera. So it's crazy that they've been inspired that way. But man, I love it.
That is so cool, man. I'm so happy for you. That's great.
So other than Pure Cinema screenings, what are some of the other films that you've shown around town? And tell people about the theaters that you show them at. I think that's the most interesting thing, because you and I take it for granted, but there's a lot of places that don't have rep screens like you have access to at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty great setup in LA right now in terms of rep in general, but a lot of micro cinemas. The only public screening we did last year that I'm remembering is the Zero Effect, but I did do 2 private screenings at Whammy, which is probably my favorite micro cinema in town. There's a lot of good ones though, and there's several that I haven't even been to. There's like a place called the Eastwood that I gotta go check out still, and there's a bunch that I still need to try. But Whammy is literally about an 10-minute walk from my apartment right now, and great little venue. If folks don't know, it's like a video. They sell videos, VHS. They're analog, Whammy analog media.
Specifically,
so, yeah. So it's like Laserdisc and VHS, and they definitely keep an eye on things that are often less available on disc. I can sense that when you go in there, you're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff here that's not really on disc. And so Eric, one of the guys there, really nice guy, is aware of that stuff. So it's neat to go in there and look around, but they have a really nice micro cinema with a few rows of theater seats, and then they have a lot of padded seats they can put in, so they can seat about 45. And I did 2 screenings there last year. One was for my birthday, and I showed a movie called Thief, but not the Michael Mann. This is a 1971 TV movie with oh man, now I'm blanking on everything. Actually, I have it right back here. Hold on. There we go. Richard Crenna. That's who I was trying to think of. Richard Crenna, Angie Dickinson, Cameron Mitchell. I had a VHS of that. We played that off VHS. And then I got a file of Murder by Natural Causes, which is a really good 70s TV movie with Hal Holbrook, Barry Bostwick, and Catherine Ross. Kind of a death trappy kind of thing, but like a whole lot of fun. So I did that one, and it was so much fun. And Whammy is so affordable in terms of their rentals that I did another one in December, and I showed Cold Blooded, which to date I think only has this media book release. This is with Jason Priestley, and
I remember your pickup video of this. God, that's so specific. It was a German release that you got.
This one's I've been a fan of this one for, I don't know, 30 years. It's one that came out in 95, I think, and my friend that I was working with found it, and just a really interesting hitman dramedy. Peter Riegert is the other one. Well, Robert Loge is in it. Michael J. Fox is in it. It's a really a movie that's sort of disappeared in a way, and that was a fun one to show. And then I showed Midnight Offerings, which is another TV movie with Melissa Sue Anderson. It's basically like, I would imagine the pitch was something like, what if there were 2 Carries? And it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Brian is saying Cold Blooded has a Japanese laser disc.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, that's very cool. It just needs something else. So I'm assuming there's some issue holding it up somewhere. But I'd love to see another release of it. But yeah, those were the main screenings I think I did last year. Those were a lot of fun. But Whammy is the best. If you come to LA, definitely check out Whammy. It's a blast.
I was meaning the last time I was there to go to Whammy, and in fact, I set up an interview with the owner of Whammy to be able to shoot in Whammy, but we just we literally ran out of time, so I couldn't do it. But everybody seems to love those guys. Dying to go visit the next time I'm down there for sure.
Yeah, it is, and like I said, check in with them about rates for rental if you want a micro cinema space to screen something. Yeah, that's cool. It does have a multiple cover art kind of thing for that media book. I almost want to get the other one too.
I love the German media books where they're like, you know what, we're doing 5 covers, and if you want all of them, get it. And it's stoked.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else. Tonight after announcements, we're going to be talking about underrated releases from 2025, underrated physical media releases. Brian has about 84 to share. I've got like 20, something like that I feel like not enough people are talking about. I've got a couple that I don't understand how nobody nominated them for the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards this year, because they're incredible. So we'll get deep into those, but let's go into some pickups. What have you been buying lately?
Okay. There's a lot here, but I'll go quickly. Let's see. We'll start with this. Goodbye Columbus. This is the Fun City Edition's new Blu-ray. I've been a fan of this one for a long time. I haven't even had a chance to crack it yet. I'm excited to, but has a commentary by my pal Bill Ackerman, new video interview with the composer, onstage conversation with Richard Benjamin, and a bunch of the other folks involved, including Ali McGraw and Larry Pierce. I like this movie a lot. It's sort of a coming of age, but like it's a like college age type thing where you have Richard Benjamin kind of falling for Ali McGraw, and she's kind of out of his league. He's like a working class Jewish guy, and she's, upper class kind of. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. And they just sort of end up connecting, but it's a little bittersweet. It's just a really great movie that I'm very excited that John got this, and very excited to check that one out.
Shout out to Hertzberg. We both love Hertzberg a lot.
I was just talking to him on the phone today.
Nice.
Yeah, he and I have a lot to talk about lately, just personally and stuff like that. So we talk quite a bit. I just got this in the mail, like a Dead Man 4K from Criterion. I'm a Jarmusch head from way back, and this is really exciting. I'm very excited to see this in 4K. Black and white always really gets me going in 4K. So this is a beautiful movie and funny, and great score, and I'm very much looking forward to checking that one out. Again, I don't want to take forever on this stuff, but
do it. We love seeing this. That's why you're here.
So this just literally showed up today. This is this one's very exciting. They did correct the little error, so I think this is the one I'm going to keep. I had the Kino, and the Kino was good, but Night of the Juggler from Transmission, and Transmission, by the way, I mean, talk about batting 1,000. I mean, every single one. I can't wait for the Stunt Man. I can't wait for Cutter's Way. These are really, really exciting 4Ks coming from Fran and Transmission. And this is a really cool sub label. It's become actually one of my favorite sub labels, like right out of the gate. Already. And I haven't even opened this, but I've seen people open this thing up, and there's just so much good stuff in here. That I don't, which I'm not even, we can get into or not how much I feel about extra stuff. I don't need it. I don't mind it. But I don't go out of my way to get it. In this case, it was just what comes with it. But yeah, very, very excited about Night of the Juggler on 4K corrected, Let's see here. This one would almost be on my list.
Ooh, yeah.
This is Motorcycle, which one of the I feel like the Russ Meyer Severance stuff definitely got a general buzz, but I don't know this one in particular. I hadn't seen, and so checking it out for the first time in 4K was really great, because I'm determining that Russ Meyer is, while I love him as a filmmaker, I think I love his early stuff a little more.
Mm.
I'm, the faster. I want to say this is the same year as Faster Pussycat.
It's around then, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're both 64. I think this comes out right before Faster Pussycat, and it's almost like I've seen it said that this is like a dry run for Faster Pussycat, except it's like a gender flip. So you have a bunch of guys, which is a little creepier, a little harder to watch. But there is a certain charm to his filmmaking, and this is very softcore, so there's no nudity or anything in this one. But it's got Alex Rocco in it, which is maybe one of the more high profile actors he's ever worked with. And there's some bizarre stuff with him. But yeah, I definitely was. I do. Have you heard? I mean, I don't know that you can say, but for what you can say, have you heard if they're working on more or if it's still up in the air?
Yes, we can now because they've said it publicly.
Have they?
Their
Okay.
podcast episode for the new year, they were teasing because this is the what is this? The 20th anniversary of Severin, I think, in 2026.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So they made a big deal on their podcast, and they said yes, we can confirm now that finally more Russ Meyer is coming. That first deal was only the 5 titles, so it's not like they were holding them back. After those came out and they did well, they went back to the well and they were able to get some more. So it is exciting.
No, I'm very excited to see what else they have, and I just love that. I think David is a great collaborator for this.
Oh, absolutely.
So like I just think Severin and Russ Meyer, that to me, like I couldn't say there's another label that I don't know. I'm just really happy for him. I think it's a big deal and it's exciting. So can't wait for those announcements.
I think they've definitely that's the right choice. They came together. Just those two brands working together makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. I just got this. This is the Via Vision 4K of John Carpenter's Vampires.
Nice.
This has already got a shout screen.
It does, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm assuming this is basically the same, although it looks like maybe there's a new video essay on here.
That and I is there a booklet in that one too? I think the booklet.
Yeah, there's a booklet
new.
and the Troy Horwath commentary. Is that says 2025? Did they both come out in 2025?
I think so.
Okay, so maybe that commentary's there too. But anyway, I like this one. Elric and I joke about this movie all the time. Got Wood Padre is just something we like. This whenever this comes up, we can't help but quote that line from the movie. It's just endlessly enjoyable. Let's see here. Okay, let's just do. Okay, so I've got a bunch from the last. This is basically from the Vinegar Syndrome sale, but I haven't opened these, so I'll just flip through these really fast. Just because I know it's old news at this point, but I picked up Blue City. I don't know why this one. It's like every time I watch it, I'm like, this isn't as good as I want it to be.
Right.
But I still find it really entertaining, and I love the idea of Judd Nelson is this guy who comes into town and just starts messing with people, just starts tearing stuff up and making a nuisance of himself. And something about that, even though you can tell like this is not a good idea, this is going to go bad.
Right.
It's still kind of fun. And the fact that Ali Sheedy's in it, I don't know. I think there's some people out there that would dig it, and I don't know why, but the olive Blu-ray was not enough. I'm like, I need a special edition of Blue City for whatever reason. I don't know. Okay. Time Crimes. I got the 4K. I mean, this is great. This is great. Yeah. I mean, I'm such a huge fan of this. I love that it has, I think the Umbrella had this too. The chronological, not that I want to watch that, but like,
right.
There's a lot of good stuff on here, but this is just, I'm a big time travel movie guy. And this is in recent memory. This is one of the best, I think.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really nice.
Nacho's a great filmmaker overall. Yeah,
definitely. I like his stuff. I would love to see him do more like that. I don't know why.
Agreed.
I picked up Iced, the Degasser. This is one I've seen, but like, and I remember some of the kills in it, but I just was kind of feeling like a goofy slasher. And I think it was it was like at least 50% off. It was a good deal. So I had to snag that. The Strange Affair. This one I just have heard decent things about, but I've never seen it. Directed by David Green, who I think did he do I Start Counting, maybe? I want to say he's the I Start Counting guy.
I believe so.
Yeah. And I think he did this before that. And this has Michael York in it. Detective Sergeant Pierce is obsessed with taking down a local kingpin, Quince. Yeah, I don't know. This is just one of those movies that I'm like, I don't know what this is, but it's in a spot in terms of time and cast where I'm like, this could be interesting.
Yeah.
As a potential discovery. So, yeah. So I snagged Strange Affair. I got suckered by Garbage Pail Kids. I don't know why I felt the need to get this. It's a disgusting movie. It's a terrible movie. But and I always joke with my boss because my boss, I work for a movie marketing company, and my boss worked for Fox at the time this came out. I want to say this is like the first movie he ever worked on. He did marketing for it back in the day.
Yeah.
And I just told him, like, super nerd, in one of our staff meetings, I'm like, hey, you know that Garbage Pail Kids is coming out on 4K? I think he was amused momentarily anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those movies that's so uniquely like no other movie that
That's
I just couldn't not get it. I don't know. 4K, yeah. We'll see. I finally grabbed Joy of Sex, just the standard cinematograph.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love Martha Coolidge. I know there's some people who just hate this movie, like hate it. And I gotta say, I don't know. I think it's all right personally, but you know, I get it. Everybody's not going to be a fan. Another one I haven't seen, Female Perversions. I snagged the standard of that. I've heard good things about it, but I don't. I never did see it, so that's another possible discovery. And then this one I have seen. I actually saw for the first time last year. This is Last of the Red Hot Lovers, which is really fun, really funny. Alan Arkin, and actually one of my favorite Sally Kellerman performances. She's like incredibly funny in this.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoyable stuff. And then just a few more here. Thunderheart 4K.
Nice. Just came out.
Yeah, I'm just been. It's the right time that I'm ready to revisit this, especially after if we talk about recent watches. There's a recent watch with Val Kilmer that ties into me being excited about rewatching this. But it's been a long time since I've seen this, and I remember liking it, but it's been so long that it's like it's a little fuzzy at this point. And then just a couple Warner Archives that I'm really excited about. One is called On Borrowed Time. Yeah, this is a really great, like, classic film with Lionel Barrymore where it's like a fable. It's kind of like one of those kind of overly sentimental movies, so it might turn some people off, but the idea is that he tricks death into getting caught in a tree, and that's a whole mythology thing. And then death is unable to kill anybody during that time, and they have to have some kind of reconciliation. But how it gets there, it feels like very Capra-esque a little bit, but slightly, I don't know, I can't quite quantify it, but I'm a big fan of this one. And it was one of the first, if I remember, it was one of the first Warner Archive DVDs that got released. And it was one that a friend of mine at the video store back in the early 2000s was a huge fan of. And I had never seen it. And then when I watched it, I was like, okay, I get it. And the kid's pretty good in it. It's about him and his grandkid kind of. And then I Love Melvin, which is Donald O'Connor from Singing in the Rain. It's like, it's not Singing in the Rain by any stretch, but it's a fun Donald O'Connor as the star kind of movie. And he didn't have a lot of those. So there's some fun musical numbers, some fun dancing. And I just remember being this is another one that came out on Warner Archive DVD that I discovered through that and being like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's a lot of fun. So I Love Melvin. And then lastly, I have a paper. I finally got my hands on the Will Sloan.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Ed Wood book. Which Ed Wood, Made in Hollywood, USA. Will Sloan, for folks that don't know, great cinephile, but has a show called Important Cinema Club, which I definitely recommend. And is a great writer. Like, if you like, one of my favorite follows on Letterboxd, like, he writes funny reviews. He can write insightful reviews. Just a good writer. And so I'm very excited to dig into this because I've only read that it's just really well written. And he's just one of these guys who unabashedly loves Ed Wood, like, not ironically, like really loves him. And so this has been on my want list for a long time, and I finally got a gift card, and I was like, I'm gonna get me some Ed Wood. So I did. That's all I got. Sorry, that was a lot. But
that's why we're here, buddy. Will Sloan and Justin just so good together. Anybody that's not
Justin
listening to
the
Important Cinema Club, you absolutely need to.
Yeah, definitely.
Brian, inquiring minds want to know. Corinne in the chat says, do you buy most of your stuff, or do you get a lot of it for free because you're famous now?
I want to say it's probably like 60-40 buy to receive, something like that. So I do get some stuff, but not all of it. I'm definitely still buying quite a bit. I'm actually, this is a lot, but we're talking about like months worth here. So this isn't like stuff I got like last week. I just had stacks of stuff that I haven't gotten to yet. So I'm like, well, I'll just bring these on. But yeah, I do get some stuff sent for the channel and stuff like that. And that's kind of surprising to me always that people keep sending stuff, but it's very sweet of them. So I try to do my best. But yeah, so it's about 60-40, something like that.
It's not too bad. I hope one day to get about 36% more, and then maybe I can match yours.
I can't believe that's ridiculous to me, dude. That's the thing that I don't get at all. The work you do in the space.
No big deal. Speaking of buying things, to proof that I bought this one, last weekend, I was out with a couple friends that had flown in, physical media friends that I've known literally online for like 7 or 8 years. We met in person for the first time last weekend. I went and bought Dope at a local
nice
store. Dope, for some reason, is out of stock like most of the time online. You can't find it a lot of the time. And when you do, it's always like $17 to $30. Don't know why. This movie's great, and I've never got the release, so I was glad to be able to get this for only $10. So
very nice.
Just came out. One of my favorites from last year. Everybody should see this movie. This is not at all what you're expecting going into this. Roofman on 4K with Channing Tatum. This movie is genuinely great. Kirsten Dunst is incredible in this. I loved this movie. I cannot wait to watch it again. I think it is genuinely like freaking fantastic.
One of my really good friends I was hanging out with the other night told me, he's like, dude, I really think you'd like Roofman. And I gotta check it out. I really gotta check it out.
It is way better than the trailers made it out to be. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you never can tell now from a marketing campaign what you're actually in for. And if you let that, and I'm certainly, I've certainly done that where I've let a marketing campaign be like the thing that I go, I don't think I'm going to see that, and that's, dumb.
What are these people in marketing thinking, Brian? Like, if we ever knew.
I mean, I wish it was, it's a complex thing. Let's just put it like that. It's a complex thing. But by the way, Dope is a really cool movie. I just sort of dropped the ball. Good. Yeah, it's slept on. I think it's been slept on since it came out.
It is. Yeah.
And it was really
and
good.
Honestly, that is a perfect example of marketing kind of doing a movie wrong, because the trailer for that movie is like, it's a fun teenager hangout movie. You watch that movie and it is for like 6 minutes, and then that movie goes batshit in a way that you are not ready for, and it is great. Superbly acted, really great soundtrack, but the story itself in Dope is incredible.
Absolutely. No, really good. I'm glad you brought it up. Actually, the movie that I just haven't thought about in a minute, but I really liked.
Yeah. 3 from Lionsgate, 1 from Amazon because it's an Amazon exclusive, and then the other 2 straight from Lionsgate. The brand new 1408 4K Steelbook just came out.
I need that.
I need to see this. This just arrived in the last day. Kind of surprised. Debossed Steelbook. They actually went in to make it kind of nice. And
wait, so that one's the Amazon exclusive, right?
This is the Amazon exclusive,
right.
Yes.
I'm ordering right now.
This has the director's cut and the theatrical cut on 4K, and I think it was the theatrical cut was not even on the Blu-ray, so this had both of them.
Oh, nice. And that's the one, by the way, when I got it, I texted Larry Karaszewski. I'm like, director's cut or theatrical? And he's like, theatrical. He's like, don't, the better one. Don't mess with that director's cut. The ending's different, and there are there's a big difference in the ending if you haven't seen it. And this is one that I actually brought up on when we had Edgar Wright on the show. If you want to check it out, it was when Running Man came out. And so we did Stephen King, and 1408 for me is still, I think, pretty underrated and underseen.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
These days, especially. Wow, $40? Is this $40? Is that the going?
That is now the going rate for many of these steelbooks. And don't forget, before Best Buy closed down physical media, Lionsgate steelbooks were $22.99.
Wow. All right. Well, I got to get it anyway, damn it, because I really love this movie. All right. Good to know.
Well, speaking of incredible cinema, they also just put out the 4K of Cabin Fever in a steelbook, and this is the lenticular art
Nice.
on the front of this. And when you take the slipcover off, it is just the gore print on the front. I got to say, love this movie genuinely. I know if Erica's watching, she's gonna be cursing me, but I like Eli Roth directing this one. I got to say though, this whole lenticular thing, it's the lenticular itself isn't bad, but we are gluing this onto like barely a better quality than a Shout Factory slipcover. We can be doing better than that. There's way better ways to take care of this. No, I have never hated Cabin Fever, Sib. I love that movie. All right. Next from Lionsgate, this is my last physical media pickup that's not book or paper related. Another one that this is what made me pull the trigger on a Lionsgate order. They put out Mystery Team on Blu-ray, and this movie is so damn incredible. Derek Comedy was a huge influence on my early comedy stuff, and I do still think it's incredibly weird that we have a Vestron video release of Mystery Team. But Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, whatever you want to call him, has risen to stardom in a way that if you told him on the Mystery Team days that was going to be happening, he'd probably believe you because he's always been that confident, but he'd be stoked. Genuinely incredible movie. Very funny. Think 2000 style comedy, but like maybe one of the best of the best.
Yeah, I gotta say that one I've been shilling for since it came out, pretty much. Like I can't remember how I got to see an early. I had a friend who's a screenwriter who, for a brief period, was like, we should do these little screenings at bars, and he got an early copy of it, and we watched it at a screening, and I was like, this movie rules so hard, it's so funny and so ridiculous. And I just have been such a fan. I've been waiting for that Blu-ray. Actually, I think I have one coming. I think I have my copy coming. But yeah, just everything Donald Glover, they're all funny, but everything Donald Glover's doing, especially in the beginning when he goes to the neighbor's house and is just trying to be like a normal neighbor guy. He's like, we're laughing. Just like everything he's doing is hilarious.
Yeah.
40 watt, eh? Just talking about the light bulbs. This ridiculous, stupid. I can't. And hey, did you fuck this bread? It's still one of my favorite jokes in a movie like ever.
Beyond that, if you are into Mystery Team, maybe you'd never seen it before and you're watching it for the first time, please go on YouTube and look up Derek Comedy and watch some of the stuff they still have up there. It's ridiculous. Some of the stuff that they have out there for free that you can see on YouTube from Derek Comedy is better than like what most comedians dream of doing. I love their stuff. All right, so A24 sent out their newest zine. This is that copy here. They got a Marty Supreme little fold-out poster in the middle of that one this month. And then, of course, right about the same time, we got in the brand new Fangoria with Sam Raimi sent help on the cover of this one. But one thing I really wanted to call out tonight, and I've got years ago on the channel, I did a video about these guys. Layered Butter. Yes, that is a real term. That is a weird name for a company. However, Layered Butter is essentially an art-focused pop culture company. They have made their name by putting out I don't even know what you call them. They're not magazines. They're kind of art books, but there's also like articles dispersed in between. They're more like coffee table books, but they're not hardcover or anything like that. They are gorgeous, though. We're talking like full art spread from like big name artists that you can buy this whole. It's basically like a high quality magazine, I'm going to say, and they're not bad. They're like $40, and they only do 2 or 3 a year. Maybe they've kind of slowed down because of the pandemic, but before that they'd done like 7, I think. They've done a Quentin Tarantino one. They've done a Wes Anderson one. They've done a few others that are like really stylistic individuals to inspire these. And they, over on their Patreon, have started something called the Tiny Poster Club. You can sign up. I think the cheapest one is only $5. They might have a level that's at 10, and then they have their VIP, which is 15, and you can sign up and you get tiny posters sent to you every single
Wow.
month.
That's
This
so
is
cool.
commissioned artwork for Jurassic Park, and then here is one for Sinners. And because of when I signed up, I was like weird in between 2 months, so I got two within 1 week. So they just happened to show up at the same time. I love their artwork, and I will genuinely use them. And also, they're shaped to be postcards.
Oh,
So if
that's
you
so
want to use
cool.
them for something else, you got them in here. You can put them in a portfolio. I love the art that they choose, so I wanted to highlight it. And Layered Butter, check them out.
Layered butter. That's how I like
Brian,
my popcorn.
you watch. That was good. You watch a lot of stuff. What have you been watching?
Okay, so this is sort of a curated list.
Let's do it.
But okay, so my girlfriend, she's in Portugal right now. She gets back Saturday. But her mom came to town. Her mom's like 84, the sweetest woman ever, and she was hanging out with us. So we were kind of just watching movies with her mom. And one night, her mom was totally down to watch Night Shift, so we rewatched Night Shift, which is one of my favorite 80s comedies of all time. Still one of my favorite Ron Howard movies. And I just think one of the best Michael Keaton breakout kind of things.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I quote this movie all the time. So it's a classic. This seemed like a timely watch, rewatching The Insider, which is maybe my favorite Michael Mann.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's tough, but I just love this movie so much. And obviously with the stuff with, I think it was CBS again, happening. It was really seemed like, oh, let's watch The Insider again. And I still think it's amazing. And please 4K this motherfucker now. Yeah. God damn it. And then, so one of the things that my girlfriend and I are big mutual fans of is documentaries. She's a big documentary person. So it's been really exciting to me to share some of my favorite docs with her. One of them is actually in my stacks over here that I'll talk about later, because it's it's an exciting release from me from 2025. But the stuff that, well, actually one of these actually has come out recently. But so I was showing her a bunch of docs that I love. And one of my all-time favorites is Hands on a Hard Body, which is only on DVD, but my God, this movie is just, I mean, this is like American movie level good, in terms of the characters that you meet. American movie level, Vernon, Florida level. I got to show her Vernon, Florida, by the way, too. But yeah, this one, it's just about a contest in a truck dealership in Texas where a bunch of people put their hands on a truck, and the last person to take their hands off wins the truck. And the people that are involved in this contest are all characters and all entertaining. And this movie is just, I absolutely love it. I was thinking like it'd be great to get a Blu-ray of it, although it's shot, I think, on like mini DV maybe.
Yeah.
But I know this is a big Quentin Tarantino favorite. Like it's maybe one of his favorite docs I've heard. And they played a 35 print of it at the New Bev. And part of me was like, maybe that's not your source, but it'd be great. Like they did with the, the Sean Baker, like Takeout and Prince of Broadway, where they bring him to film and scan them back, or however they did it. I forget.
Right.
But I only saw Takeout for the first time through the Criterion transfer. And when it looks filmic, it's a totally different thing. And so this would be really interesting in that way. I don't think it needs it. But if we're going to get a Blu-ray, maybe that if something like that happened, I don't know. It's so good. This actually did just come out and is really great. And this is Hearts of Darkness, the 4K from Lionsgate. Now I've read online that it's missing some Eleanor Coppola documentary shorts that I think are on some kind of British release. I don't know if it's a 4K or just a Blu-ray of Hearts of Darkness, but I'm like, now I got to get that too.
Right.
But my girlfriend hadn't seen this one, and I realized this is like maybe one of the first documentaries that made me understand how great documentary can be.
Yeah.
And just to see, especially with Coppola, now you have Megadoc, and so you could go and watch Coppola dealing with Apocalypse Now, and then you can go and watch Megadoc on Criterion Channel and see him dealing with,
Apocalypse Shia.
Apocalypse Shy, exactly right. And he is dramatic right out of the gate, man. Holy smokes. But yeah, this documentary is truly spectacular, just in terms of they have archival footage, obviously, of the actors, including like a 14-year-old Lawrence Fishburne. And then they have, like them reflecting on the movie in the like early 90s. Yeah. But then they do this great thing where they use Orson Welles's, I think it was a radio broadcast of him reading Hearts of Darkness, the Conrad book. And so they'll take little clips of that and they'll play it over footage of it's really well put together. I know it's not just Eleanor Coppola, it's George Hickenlooper as well, but it's such a great put together documentary. And you watch it and you see Coppola in the movie just being like, this movie sucks. This is never going to be, it's inspirational in that way that you're like, wow, he was so not thinking this was going to be any good, and he was wrong. So great release. And then the last one is a DVD only release from Shout called Off the Charts. This is a recommendation from my friend Brendan Small. He
what a name dropper, Brian.
I'm sorry. I just have to be honest. He's the one who I wouldn't know about this.
I'm kidding.
I'm not trying to be an asshole.
Which, by the way, if somebody out there has never listened to them, go listen to all of the episodes of Just the Disc with Brendan on them. They're some of the best.
You know what's funny is that I gotta say one of my favorite things that's come about because of the podcast, I think Pure Cinema first, and then Just the Disc, is that I've become really good friends with Brendan, and he's like a really good friend. And that's not a thing, but just a thing where I was like, no way could the guy who made home movies, which I love, and Metalocalypse, be a really good friend of mine. But like, he's really a close friend of mine. And this documentary is fantastic. It's short. It's like an hour long, and it's all about song poems. Basically the services that you would see in magazines where they're like, send us your lyrics and we'll make a song for you. And so you get it again. This is like American movie type, characters, American movie, Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control, just people that are real characters. The people that wrote the songs are just completely bonkers, and the songs that they make are bonkers. And the people that make the songs, like the guys that actually record them and make them, they deal with a couple of those different companies. And it's just one of those things where you just are kind of like mouth agape, like, wow. It's one of those movies where you kind of feel bad while you're watching it, because you feel bad, a little embarrassed for the people in there, but they're excited about it. They're excited that their songs are real. And, so we already have like some inside jokes off this movie, my girlfriend and I. It's a really good, like, you can get it on Vimeo too, I think, but it's really recommended. I watched the Zombies doc from Utopia, Hung Up on a Dream. I'm a big fan of the Zombies, one of my favorite bands of all time, the 60s band. And this is Robert Schwartzman's documentary. And it's fascinating because I guess there's some things I knew and some I didn't, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Zombies were a band that never really got a proper shake. Like they just, like, all their stuff gained popularity after the fact, and they just didn't get to celebrate their own legacy in its time. It's neat to see them all interviewed and tell the stories of how the band came to be, but it's kind of sad to see just like, oh wow, they were not like the Beatles, like the people didn't know about them, and they actually had to go off and get real jobs after they made like Odyssey and Oracle, which to me is like one of the great albums of all time. And it just wasn't a thing. Like, you find out that some of their biggest hits were picked up like much later, and they never really got to tour with them until much later, much later, like, within the last 10, 15 years. But it's a pretty good doc. I got to say, I enjoyed it. And I just love their music. It's very sweet. Let's see here. In terms of reach. Okay. So this is coming back to the Korean barbecue, where I met our mutual friend, Alex, for the first time. And that was great, because Alex has become like a really good friend of mine. Yeah. And he's a sweetheart, and we go to movies all the time. I went to see House with Laughing Windows at Cinematic Void, which is one of our local screening things they do at Los Feliz 3, which is close, on Monday night. And we had a really great day about a week or so ago where we watched 4 movies. I can only talk about 3 of them because one of them sort of pertains to an episode that I can't talk about. But I'll show the movies that we did watch at his place. And it was fun because Alex is the kind of guy who's down for, 4 movies in a row. And it was, he's the great. I love Alex. Okay, so we watched Hitchhike, the 4K, which Alex hadn't seen, and which I was like, dude, this is so up your alley, and it totally was up his alley. I would, if I had to guess, it might have been the winner of the 4 that we watched. And this is a really great disc. I mean, not surprisingly, it's Indicator. They always do great work. Looks great. This movie was darker, but also funnier than I remembered, which is kind of messed up. There's definitely some stuff in it you feel bad laughing at, but I don't know. If you don't know, it's like Franco Nero and who plays his wife in this? I forget. Corinne Clary, I think. Yeah. So they're on a road trip in what is clearly Italy, but it was supposed to be playing for the United States. And their marriage is not in great shape. He's a magazine writer. He's a drunk. He's embarrassing and he's chauvinistic and he is an asshole. So they're already bad, right? And then they pick up David Hess along the side of the road, and David Hess in your car as a hitchhiker is a terrible idea in any movie. But it's actually one of my favorite David Hess performances too. I think he's really good. And then when David Hess and Franco Nero start to get into it, the movie becomes really entertaining and fun. And so that was great. So that was what we opened with. And for whatever reason, we followed it with Bushwhacked with Daniel Stern, which I've gotten a lot of jokes since I posted this because unfortunately he had a little incident with a prostitute.
It's been a rough week.
Yeah, he got bushwhacked. Everybody's like, he got bushwhacked. And I'm like, yeah, I set that up. I feel bad for the guy. But I'd never seen Bushwhacked, which is like, him feeding off his Wet Bandits character, basically, and having to babysit a bunch of kids in the woods. And it was super funny because I actually follow Max Goldblatt, and I've met him a few times, son of Mark Goldblatt, the editor. Max is an editor in his own right, done some prominent projects the last year or so. And I noticed that Max had literally, as we were watching this, had posted a story that was him on some podcast talking, because he's in Bushwhacked and he's in Heavyweights. And he was on some podcast talking about Bushwhacked. And I hadn't even seen it. It was some weird confluence of like, now he's the Sticky Bandit. Sorry. And it was just such a weird confluence of like, because he was like, I was like, dude, I did not see that at all. I had no idea. Right. And then he told me, even funnier than that, was that he had recorded that podcast literally like a year prior, and they had just put it out on that day. So there was some kind of Bushwhacked universal confluence that happened on that
Daniel
Sunday.
Stern conjured it.
I don't know what happened, but it was super funny. Anyway, it's fun. This is Adam Risky, who's part of the F This Movie podcast. Some of my favorite episodes of the F This Movie pod. Shout out to my friend Patrick Bromley, who's been on the show a bunch. But when he and Adam get together and talk about movies they watch, it's one of my favorite things to hear on their podcast. Adam's a big Bushwhacked fan. And so when I saw it, I had to let him know. And the last one I'll talk about that we watched together, Alex and I, was Spartan, the David Mamet movie, which needs a Blu-ray, does not have a Blu-ray that I know of. Do you know of a Blu-ray outside the US?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'll have to look it up real quick.
I don't think so either. But the Val Kilmer performance that led me to want to catch up with Thunderheart ultimately, which is before this. This is actually one of the latter, almost latest Val performances where he's really good. And this is like sort of a Secret Service conspiracy movie, but like really well done. Like, I think a little slept on in David Mamet's filmography.
Yeah, for sure.
I know Ben David Grabinski is a big fan of this one, and I think he did a screening in New York where he hosted it. Like, it's that good for him, that kind of movie. Right. I have to share this. I was cleaning my apartment the other day, and I was in my closet, and I was moving some clothes, and I had an iron that was on a shelf, literally, and it fucking hit me on the head. like I was fucking Daniel Stern in Home Alone. I got smacked on the head with an iron, and I was just like, God damn it, this is not fun in real life. This is not something I'm happy about. So anyway, poor guy. Okay, two more really quick. I finally caught up with this Scissors.
Oh, nice, yeah.
This is Frank DeFaletta, Phil Blankenship, my friend who programs at the New Beverly, who's on our I almost myself. Yes, I totally did. Phil Blankenship's a big fan of this one, and he brought it up on like a Bonkers episode that we did, and it is Spartan has a Spanish Blu-ray. Didn't know that. Ooh.
Spanish sometimes means not exactly legal, but yeah.
Also, like sometimes like a 1080i versus an actual.
There is a German 4K Spartan from Studio Canal, supposedly.
Holy shit! Okay, well that's big news.
Brian is buying that before the show's over.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that. This is why I come on here. This is you folks got me here. This is great. I got to get me some Spartan 4K. Holy shit! But anyway, this movie is absolutely nuts. Sharon Stone and Steve Railsback playing twins. And I can't even begin to describe what this movie's about. There's unfortunate sexual assault, and then just one creepy twin played by Steve Railsback and one nicer twin. And it's the kind of movie, this is made in 96. So, I mean, Sharon Stone's pretty well established at this point. You almost go like, what made her want to do this movie? I don't even know, but it's truly fascinating and off the wall. It's a Phil special. It's one of those movies where you watch it and it's just like not like any other movie you've seen. And Phil has a knack for finding those movies. And so I finally saw that. And lastly, I saw this is a Warner Archive DVD, Love is a Racket. This is directed by William Wellman, and it's kind of a fun pre-code. I want to say it's a pre-code. I'm pretty sure it is. With Ann Dvorak and Lee Tracy. And yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just sort of like newsmen. They do a lot of pre-codes with news guys, and Lee Tracy was really good as a fast talking newsman. In this case, he's like second fiddle to another guy, and I don't know. It was enjoyable. It deals with him having to his buddy who works at I forget the guy that plays this. Lyle Talbot? No, I don't even know. Anyway, I was looking at some William Wellman movies, and this was one I hadn't seen, and it was not bad. Love is a Racket. Anyway, that's a lot of me talking. Sorry.
It's totally fine. We're going to have somebody else talk for just a minute, actually. It's not either of the two of us.
Nice.
What is great is that we've had a hell of a week around here. We had a fairly large announcement at the beginning of this week where I announced Antenna releasing. Here is the website. And to celebrate and discuss, here's one Mr. Billy Ray Bruton, the partner in Antenna.
Oh, sorry guys. You caught me off guard. I was just doing my nightly cocaine bath.
That's how you get it all done. Amazing. Hi, Billy Ray.
Hi, Ryan. Hi, Brian.
Good to see you again, sir. This is a lot of Billy Ray. I've seen him twice this week in person online. This is great.
A lot of Billy Ray.
You know, I find that most people thrive when they get a lot of Billy Ray.
I have found the same for me.
The only people who don't enjoy it is the CDC.
Well, Billy Ray, why don't you give your pitch on what Antenna releasing is for anybody that wasn't here earlier this week?
Yeah, so my first title is A Midnight Clear. It is a lovely Keith Gordon directed Christmas war film. Okay.
I love that movie.
So we're not doing that, even though I am surrounded by physical media right now myself. Yeah, Antenna releasing, which is really exciting, which is something that Ryan and Fran and I have concocted, and it's really exciting. So essentially, we think distributors are awful. Not all distributors.
Just most.
I love that you led with that. That's great.
Yeah, I just want to be clear because I think people have this idea that I just hate all distributors. There are some distributors that are crushing it, like Altered Innocence and Yellow Veil, and like
Grasshopper.
This is small one. Grasshopper. There are some bigger ones that are doing really cool stuff too. Like I think Magnolia Pictures does some really cool stuff. Like there are good distributors out there. But unfortunately, over the last decade, we have seen the rise of predatory distributors, which are distributors that I define as distributors who are quite literally in the bulk business and only want to bilk filmmakers essentially out of every dime they have. And as we know, most filmmakers, when they finish a film, probably don't have half a dime, let alone a whole dime. And so we thought, well, let's try something that maybe is different and benefits the filmmaker in a more sort of partnership forward way, instead of bringing a film and the filmmaker on and then immediately turning antagonistic because we're the distributor. We know better. We have all the answers. We don't need to work with you.
Right.
That's just nonsensical to me. Why would you not want to work with the people who know the film better than anybody else? So hence Antenna Releasing was born, and we have our first title, Stolen Kingdom, which is incredible. It's one of the most fun documentaries you will see in 2026. I guarantee you. And if you are a Disney fan, you're probably going to just die in the theater. You might just pass away.
It is truly the greatest combination of Disney fandoms, urban exploring, and true crime in all of the best ways.
Yeah, it really, really is. It's such a crowd pleaser. I saw it, our film Corner to the Stars world premiered at Slam Dance 2025. Stolen Kingdom was there as well. So I got to see it in a packed crowd of 400 people. And it's a movie you want to see in a theater with an audience. You really get that sort of communal theatrical experience, which you don't get from documentaries a lot of the time. You're not going generally. I mean, no one's going to, the Angelica Film Center to see Showa on a Sunday, expecting it to be like a big crowd movie. Stolen Kingdom, you can get that.
So the big thing here is we are a film distribution company that we are going to be doing theatrical releasing. We're going to be doing streaming, VOD, and then later this year, starting with our very first physical media release. We are not announcing that specific title yet, but you can count on that coming soon. We will talk about that in the amount of time that it will take to get that ready and out into your hands in the best way possible. Billy Ray, your history, how are you one of the best people to be able to work for a distribution company?
Oh gosh, well I don't know that I am one of the best. I'm just your experience. I'm just the one you've got. Why am I a good fit for a distribution company? I think because I have seen the business from pretty much every angle. I've worked in film festivals for over 20 years. I've done quite literally everything you can potentially do at a film festival. I have founded film festivals. I've been a festival director, development, programmer, film traffic, created DCP. If there's nothing for a film festival that I have not done. But I've also worked in the distribution and exhibition space for years. I've programmed for some large theaters like Rooftop Cinema Club, where I was programming for the US and UK, literally 1,000 titles a month. And I'm a filmmaker, which I think is probably the biggest feather in that cap, which is I am a filmmaker. I've written and directed a feature. I've produced features. I have worked with distributors in that capacity, and I know how difficult and uncertain it can be, especially for young first-time filmmakers. And so I kind of bring all that to the table, which I hope gives me a slightly different perspective than a lot of other folks out there. We'll see. I personally think that I have good taste in curating films. I think if you're a Screen Drafts listener, 50% of you probably agree, and 50% of you think that I was sprung forth from hell to ruin cinema for all eternity. But I like to think that I have pretty good taste. I guess time will tell.
Beyond that, two things that I wanted to make sure that we covered tonight. One, I've gotten a lot of questions of is this just new films? And we are working a lot in contemporary cinema, but no, we are definitely working with a lot of rep cinema and catalog titles as well. There's going to be some stuff that will absolutely surprise you that we're able to get our hands on. And then the other big thing, you'll notice there are 3 partners listed on the website. We wanted to make sure that we give a shout out to Mr. Francis Galuppi, the third partner in this. He is the director of the 2027 Evil Dead film coming out. He's the director of Last Stop in Yuma County, a film that we both loved. And he is somebody that's got a huge eye for art. He loves focusing on that side. So he is our creative director. And yeah, we got lots of fun stuff going on and cannot wait to share more with these.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of just want to announce everything right now, but we can't. It's like burning a hole in my brain, not being able to talk about some of this stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, I'm glad you had dinner with a relative. I hope it was a relative that you have not seen in many years, and you decided to reconnect, and it went better than you expected.
It's a great night to reconnect, that's for sure.
Yeah, love that.
What was I about to say? I guess we could say we just found out one of our films got a festival premiere that we will announce eventually, but that was really cool.
We won't announce the title quite yet, but it's a really cool film. They actually signed with us before they had even had their world premiere, so and they're going to be world premiering at a very large, very prestigious genre festival that we're very excited about. So more to come.
On that note, anything else you want to shout out before we call tonight, Billy Ray?
So Midnight Clear is this war movie directed by Keith Gordon. And it is one of the most underrated, even better than that. Let me go through all of the 30 for 30. This collection of 29
Can somebody cut the mic? Cut the mic.
Is really fantastic. Let's go through
Have a good night, Billy Ray.
Disc.
We love you. Have a good night.
Bye, Billy. Bye, Billy Ray.
See you, buddy. We'll talk soon.
I never get asked on here to talk about physical media, so it's like I got to throw it in when I can.
We talk to each other enough. Have a good night. And,
bye, guys. Have a good
Billy
one.
Oh, Billy Ray. He's such a character.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Some things that I've watched real quick, and then we can jump into the announcements now that we're over an hour deep into the show.
Sorry.
We'll blame it on Billy Ray. The big thing is this last weekend, got back to the theater for the first time in a couple weekends. Saw Marty Supreme for the second time. The first time I watched it was at home, and nothing compared to the theater. The sound in that film, you have to watch that film in the theater. I did
the same as you. I need to see it in the theater, I think, because I was a little. The other thing is that the hype is so high.
Yeah, so
high, like just out of the stratosphere high, and that's really hard for a movie to live up to. And
yeah,
so by the time I got to it was already just overhyped to the point that I don't think there's any way the movie could have lived up, except if it had been slightly different. I mean, okay, it is, but my only argument I'll make, and I don't want to take a dump on anybody's like of this movie, is I do feel like the Safdies keep making the same movie again and again and again.
Oh, this is absolutely uncut gems, but like +1.
Yeah, and that's fine because it's a sports movie on top of it, so I'm into that. But I was kind of like, oh, they're doing their thing again. Okay, that's cool. But the score, one of my favorite scores for sure all year. The soundtrack, although I gotta say, he closes with a song that is the closing song from another movie. And it's one of my favorite movies, so I'm just kind of, and it's one of my girlfriend's favorite movies, so I was just kind of like, I don't know.
You're not supposed to touch that.
I don't know if you can do that for your closing song. It's almost like saying you don't know that movie exists,
right? So
I'm gonna do it. I'm like, that's just mean to me. But anyway, it is a great performance. He definitely is an asshole. It's tough to watch.
It's true.
But I do need to. Point being, I do need to see it in a theater. I haven't seen it in a theater yet, so I got to do that.
It was very, very good in the theater. I will say I loved it at home, but man, it was incredible in the theater. That's for sure. The other one, went and saw Primate this last weekend, one that I had been eager to see, and I was pleasantly surprised. I expected this to be just like every we'll say every January horror release from the last 7 or 8 years, which is usually the dumping ground of some rough ones. I will say though, this is to me like Underwater, which came out in January in 2020, which was pleasantly surprised. So this one, came and performed fairly well for the size film that it was. But the big thing for me is it wasn't ironic. It wasn't tongue-in-cheek. It wasn't played for laughs. It was a fairly straightforward horror movie that's just an animal attacks film. It is formulaic in the way that it's supposed to be. I thought that it was pretty damn great. The score on this is incredible. The acting is very good and very heavy on practical effects.
I like it.
All of that to me sounds like a win. It's not a perfect movie. There are a couple sort of nonsensical things that you just got to be okay with. It's a freaking chimpanzee going on a rampage. That being said, if you just go expecting a chimpanzee going on a rampage, you will be surprised to how much that you like it. I think
Okay.
the gore in this is very good. The acting is surprisingly good. The character tropes work very well with it. It's a great movie.
I gotta say, maybe he hasn't spoken about it publicly yet, but Elric was a big fan of it too, and I was texting with him just a couple nights ago, and he had just gotten back, and he was just like blown away. Like I think he probably went in low like you, and so now we're causing people to have higher expectations, which is, again, whatever. It is what it is. But now I'm like, I gotta go get a ticket for Saturday. I'm gonna go see it this weekend.
It is worth seeing in the theater for sure. It is a fun crowd film. There was plenty of like gasp moments, genuinely. But beyond that, just like we just talked about with Marty Supreme, the score for Primates is magnificent. I believe they indicated today that Waxwork is putting it out on vinyl. If you are a vinyl person, this will be one that you want in your house. It is very much like a send up of classic Carpenter synthy riffs, and it works so well with this
wow
film.
Okay,
yeah,
now you're selling me a little harder. This is good.
I think you'll like it. It's a good time. Very pro disability. Like there's certain things in the film. One of the main characters is deaf, and there are things for the film that work around that, and not putting anybody down, which is kind of a tough find in Hollywood. I got to be honest. They don't really handle disability all that well.
Not at all. No, that's impressive. That is impressive. Yeah. All right, I got to get on this. I got to get my AMC app open and start looking for where I can get my ticket. That's great.
Incredible. Well, let's go through some of these announcements tonight. We don't have a ton to go through tonight, thankfully, but we got some big ones to talk about. These first two are January 25th in Blu-ray from Club Super 8, the new OCN partner label, but these are not, as far as we can tell, going to be part of the OCN side. This is just coming in Sweden. However, Orbit, Diabolic, Brother Belial, they've all been carrying these eventually, so you should be able to get your hands on these if you're after them. And I know I am, because there are some great people in the bonus features on this. So this first one is 1971's Forest of Beastly Desire. What a title. This is part of the Swedish Sin uprising from Nikatsu at that time. This is going to include a visual essay called Blonde Animals, Swedish Sin Through the Lens of Nikatsu Roman Porno by Johan Nordstrom. There's also going to be on this an audio commentary by Jasper Sharp, Johan, and Ricard Gramfers, which is going to be great, and this looks very good. But to go with it, we've also got this title, which is Desire First Sex Experience from the same year. And this one in the bonus, we've got Johan Nordstrom again, and then also a visual essay called Queer Nikatsu by Dakota Newt and Christopher Velasco, people who were just recently on the show from the Two and the Pinku podcast, and then another commentary by Jasper and Johan and Ricard. Are you into the Swedish Poruno titles that they're putting out?
I mean, no shade at all. Just not really on my radar at the moment, so I don't have a lot to say about these. They seem exciting for those that are, though. They seem pretty great for them.
This will hopefully do pretty well for them. So these look good. They're coming out as part of like a series, so check those out. We already talked about Stolen Kingdom and Antenna. I will shout out antennareleasing.com. If you want, please go sign up for the email newsletter. We're going to be sending out regular newsletters and get everybody on board with what we got coming out. You'll be some of the first ones to know about it. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
Going to the next one. That was just a podcast experience. Go check out Beyond the Blood. They're great people. March 25th on 4K Steelbook, and then a Blu-ray case coming on the side of this. Imprint is releasing a Better Tomorrow trilogy over in Australia. Now, what's interesting is Shout released these, and they are pretty much identical. That being said, Imprint should have more improved subtitles, and it's got a steelbook. So if you're after that, you've got a little bit more going on here. But also, don't forget, Arrow is also going to be releasing these. So if you want that, it'll likely be cheaper than this version. But it does look like a very solid release. I do love the art on the hard box on this.
Yeah, and I have not seen the third one, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I haven't. So curious about it.
I've only ever seen the first one. So
the second one is so much fun, man. You'll get a kick out of the second one. It's a blast.
I'm dying to get these in. And the hard part is I'm trying to hold myself to wait for the Arrow, but gosh, the Shout Factories are coming out so early compared to the Arrow. It's like, can I wait? Yes, Imprint releases are always quality. I agree there, Terry. And then after the Better Tomorrow trilogy, Welcome to Derry Season 1, we had announced a 4K Steelbook, a standard Blu-ray, and a DVD. They also just released that they're going to be doing a standard 4K after everybody was asking. So you will have a chance to get this. Don't worry about that. You can pre-order this on Amazon. This is coming on May 5th. That is the release date, May 5th from Warner.
Okay.
April 7th, we've got Anamigo putting out The Dagger of Kamui. This was a Kickstarter that they had ran, and this is going to be the wide public release of this, and you can check this out. I had never seen this, but a lot of people were saying this was like formidable for them when they were growing up. Coming out in 85. Is this one that you had seen?
I have no clue. Never heard of this movie, ever. So totally off my radar.
The trailer for this genuinely looks really great. I think people should check this out if you're into this style of film at all. It's supposed to be very good. Next up is from this last year. Song Sung Blue is coming on February 17th on Blu-ray and DVD only, no 4K. This is coming from Universal. Kind of an odd choice because it seems like everybody that has seen this movie has sort of loved it.
Yeah,
but are the names not enough to put out a 4K? I don't know. It's Universal too, so I'm always worried with Universal that they could just come out 8 months later and put out a 4K.
Is that something they've been doing with their new studio titles?
Most of theirs, the horror titles were getting Blu-rays and then a 4K upgrade later, but this is the first time they're doing it for a title like this.
Huh? Interesting. Yeah, I've had some friends see this and we're pretty big fans. Definitely the performances and the movie. So yeah. I'm curious.
This is supposed to be great. We've got an audio commentary on here with Craig Brewer, the director. We've got extended performances on here. There's some featurettes. Overall, this looks like a pretty solid studio disc and one where I got to see the film at some point here. Terry is shouting out in the comments, check out The Secret Agent, saw it last night. Fantastic movie. I will second that. It's a great movie. It didn't overall work for me as much as it's working for other people. But first of all, main character, incredible actor. I really hope he gets that Oscar nom next week because he deserves it. One movie that did work for me a lot from this last year, The History of Sound. This is getting a Blu-ray and DVD release from Mubi on March 24th. Did you see this one this year?
I did not. In fact, I totally missed this one completely, and it's Josh O'Connor, who I like. So this
Josh O'Connor, who was in like 3 or 4 films this year.
Absolutely, he's having a big year.
Yeah, it is him and Paul Mescal, which I love both of these gentlemen. This movie was great. It looks like there are 0 extras on this release, which kind of hurts. But yeah, check out The History of Sound. It is a very slow movie in the way that it's not action-packed or anything, but this is one of the best character pieces of the entire year. It really gives you enough time with each of the characters to feel all of the emotions that they're feeling. It's just a wonderfully put together film.
Nice.
Next up, also from this last year, The Carpenter's Son, starring Nicolas Cage and FKA Twigs. This is coming on February 17th on Blu-ray and probably DVD. I did not get to see this one. It is one that I've heard is not very good, but I do want to see it.
I like to, I'd love to get to like every Nicolas Cage movie ever in my lifetime at some point.
That's a lot.
I know, it's a lot. So I've got a lot of my work cut out for me. This one I've only heard a few things about. I'm not sure if I need to see it or not, but I'm curious because it's Nick. I'm curious.
So taking that idea and running with it, when Elric makes his next 2 movies, because his first movie's out, we just got a physical media release for it, and he gets super famous, and he has to take off from Pure Cinema because he's too big now. Maybe you launch a second show called Just the Cage.
I like it.
It's you covering every single Nicolas Cage film.
I like it. I think you just hit on something really great. I'm into it.
Next, God, we got a lot from last year coming out right now. February 17th, we got a Blu-ray coming from Searchlight, also known as Disney, of course, of Rental Family. This is the Brendan Fraser Japanese film about a family that is, a company that pretends to be family members when people need them to be. And Brendan Fraser is playing the father of this young girl. And this movie, did you see this movie last year?
I didn't. Yeah, no.
It looked very sappy based on the trailer.
Yeah.
But god dang, did I love this movie. I thought this
really?
was such
Okay.
a surprise. Yeah,
Good to
I
know.
thought this was going to be so much worse. There is a couple things that happen in this movie that are just perfectly written, and the way that they end up happening in the film, I felt like came together very, very well.
Okay, that's cool. Got my interest now.
We got some featurettes, some deleted extended scenes, solid looking release, and check it out because it's pretty well made. We got some other fairly large news to talk about this week. This is one of the bigger ones. Media Play News. They had the exclusive here that Alliance has announced a new exclusive agreement with MGM and Amazon to distribute all of the MGM titles. Now, what's interesting here is that not only did they call out that they're putting out the new season of Fallout and then Mercy to the retail market, they also announced that they're going to be handling titles like Rocky, James Bond, and Legally Blonde, plus The Silence of the Lambs. These are giant titles that MGM has never let anybody else handle. So the fact that they are not doing the rest of the Bond catalog in-house and they're signing it over to Alliance is a pretty big deal. Not only, because obviously MGM has changed hands a little bit over the last couple of years with Amazon taking over, but this will assuredly show people that they are genuinely confident in what Alliance is going to be able to do for them.
Wow.
This is genuinely a big deal here because Alliance has gotten fairly large. They are handling quite a bit of releases across the board. And the big thing is that Warner Brothers was handling a lot of stuff for places like Paramount. And the fact that we're spreading this out, honestly, I think this is a overall net positive for physical media as a whole. I think that this is going to encourage better like replication factories to pop up. I think that this could lead to more and more catalog titles coming out because Lord knows MGM wasn't doing it all that much. Overall, I think this is a great thing. The only thing that I will say, I really hope that the replication factories beef up 4K discs because last year was a big problem with those being a giant bottleneck for some of these titles.
Crazy.
Any thoughts, Brian?
I mean, it's exciting. I had not heard this news, and I would love it to be a boon for the, like you say, the replicators and people doing the media to just help the hobby, not the hobby, just help physical media in general,
Yeah.
I would love to see that. So,
and we've already seen some of this. We've already seen some of the MGM titles getting announced last week. We just didn't know that it was going to be through Alliance. Alliance, that's the word, which one of them was never on Blue before. So the fact that is happening, that is pretty exciting in and of itself, because that means it's not just going to be rehashes of James Bond releases every 3 weeks, which honestly, I know a lot of people love Bond, but they've been released to death, and there's still a lot of titles from MGM that have never seen the light of day.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
All right, this is a good thing. And moving on, Lionsgate Limited announced that on February 17th, they are putting out this 4K steelbook of The Doors from 1991. How do you feel about this art there, Brian?
I think it's interesting. I don't know. I guess I'd have to see it in person. I can't really get a great read on it here. I mean, I'm very pro Val. Okay, well, thank you for that. I mean, maybe not as hot on the crazy psychedelic hair. I don't know. But it's another one that I've been just a great Val place recently.
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend and I both love Real Genius and we love Val, and I showed her Kiss Kiss Bang Bang for the first time, and so I've just been kind of in that place where I'm just watching a lot of Val, and I'm long overdue for a rewatch of The Doors. So it's exciting on that level for me for sure.
It's a good movie. I don't hate this art necessarily.
I totally agree with Terry, by the way. MGM should put out Darker Than Amber if they control it, because that movie's amazing.
Yeah. I don't hate this. I do want to see it in person. I like the fact that they're at least being playful with the slipcover and making it reveal the crazy Jim Morrison colors.
Yes.
I will admit, in the marketing, this does kind of look terrible. Just gonna say it.
Okay.
They've got a couple exclusive extras on here. We got a Oliver Stone director's intro, and then we've got Val, Oliver, and Jim, the making of Morrison. It's a good movie. The only thing I'll shout out here, Lionsgate has already released this on 4K way back in 2019.
Oh.
I really wish they focused just on films that have not been out on 4K. Like, we don't really need a rehash of The Doors with a couple new extras at this moment.
Fair. That's fair.
There are so many things that Lionsgate owns the rights to that other people would love to release that they're just sitting on. Come on.
No, there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And I do hope that they are going to dig into that catalog. And getting stuff like Mystery Team is exciting to me because it's indicative that they're looking at what they got and going, okay, this is interesting. Let's put this out. So, yeah.
Bruce Holicek wants us to say that the art is shit. I will say I don't think it's shit. I want to see it in person before I say that, but I won't because I'm not. There's no way I'm buying this. Hopefully it looks better than that because I at least in the marketing the colors are terrible. I cannot. Yeah. All right, another great movie from this last year. We got a 4K Blu-ray and DVD coming of Hamnet. This is rumored to be coming in March in the UK. It'll likely be the same time for the US. We don't have marketing and stuff for all that. I'm betting that they're waiting for next week to see if it's been nominated for Oscars to throw a couple laurels on the front and ride those coattails before they actually announce it. But great movie. I thought this was really well done. Chloe Zhao, another Paul Mescal film. Jesse Buckley can do no wrong. Did you see this one?
This is another one that I haven't gotten to yet, but I've only heard good things, especially about the Jesse Buckley performance. And it sounds like she's a lock for at least a nomination. At the very
she deserves it more than most. I think other than her, the only other one that I really hope comes out on top is Amanda Seyfried in the Testament of Anne Lee. That was my favorite from last year. For sure.
Okay, cool. Another one I still need to see. I'm behind on my new movies. I'm definitely up on old movies, not as up on new.
Yeah, I flipped that myself this year. Usually I'm the same way as you, but I got to see way more in theaters than I expected, for sure. Next up, one that I'm sure Brian has seen at least 3 or 12 times. March 24th, there is a 4K and Blu-ray coming in the U.S. from Kino of A Bridge Too Far from 1977. Have you seen A Bridge Too Far, Brian?
That's a good question. I think so, but it's not immediately accessible in my memory. So I do need a rewatch. I know that Imprint put out a nice 4K of this last year, like with an extra disc and everything. So, but I like war movies, and this is one of those like all-star cast war movies. I mean, this cast is insane.
This is one of the craziest casts of all time. Literally.
Look at that. It's just ridiculous, you know? I want to rewatch it, and it's directed by Attenborough, so that's good. That's good news.
The first time I saw this poster for this, I laughed because I said, you know what, this poster on the front looks like the back cover of an Indicator release. It's just like a giant block of text.
Mm-hmm.
We also got a new audio commentary on this one by Steve Mitchell and then the author Stephen J. Rubin, as well as some other extras. And they did carry over a couple of the things, nowhere near what Imprint had. Imprint had an entire other disc. That release is just legendary. If you love this movie or you think you will love this movie, that is by far the one to go for sure. Another Kino. On March 17th, we got a Kino Classics release of The Thief of Baghdad from 1924. This is being shown as a brand new 4K restoration on this one. All of the extras on here are older, carried over from previous releases. But Douglas Fairbanks, Thief of Baghdad. You seen this one?
You know, I don't think I've seen this version, although I do love I think the next version, the later version. The
40s, yeah.
Yeah, that one's great. But I'm excited about a restoration from Kino. This looks interesting, and it's one that I like the story a lot. So I definitely would be interested in checking this out. I think
I've seen some of this. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing. I know I've at least seen major clips. Terry says Imprint released this one as well. Imprint, the gateway to Kino is seemingly what's been happening the last couple of years. That's for sure.
Yeah, they had that whole set dedicated to Thief of Baghdad versions, which is pretty cool.
That was a fun release. Next up is Lenny Riefenstahl's The Blue Light from 1932, coming on March 24th on Blu-ray. This has a commentary by Anthony Slide. It's Riefenstahl. That's there you go. That's going to be the subject of the conversation surrounding this one.
Mm-hmm.
Then from Raro, we've got Luchino Visconti's Conversation Piece. This is coming on March 31st from Raro. This was a restoration that was started in 2019, finalized in its 4K master in December of 2023, and this has all kinds of great details on the restoration here. Everybody check that out. We've got an audio commentary by Bill Gabiri. We've got an archival interview with the film critic and screenwriter Alessandro Bencleveni, I'm going to guess. But I've heard this is great. I've not seen this one. It's got Burt Lancaster. You seen this one?
No, I haven't. But, The Leopard is a really interesting collaboration between Visconti, I believe, and Lancaster. And so this must be post The Leopard. Yeah, it is. And Helmut Berger's in this, too. He's an interesting character actor to have a part of this. Yeah, no, I'm curious. I don't know. I don't know if I mean I want to see it. I don't know anything about it.
Same, exactly the same. Let's see. Criterion has started to offer replacement discs for their 4K release of Carnal Knowledge. Just a heads up. All it was there is a missing fade to white that was supposed to be on the disc that they did not have. If you got that first printing, you can email them and they'll give you a replacement when you send in a picture of it and your name and all that stuff.
I just did this today. So for people who want to know, the procedure is thus: you have to take a Sharpie, write on the disc your name and the date in the white part of it and then if it's a 4K and a Blu-ray, you got to take a picture of both, and then send them a picture. They were pretty responsive. I actually literally did this morning, and they wrote back right away, and they supposedly shipping it relatively soon, even though it said 1 to 3 weeks. So jump on this soon if you bought Carnal Knowledge. Although they didn't have the issue with the indicator release, did they? Apparently,
no, they did not.
Okay, good to know. Not surprising.
They did not. The other thing with Criterion is they are also doing, I know we never covered this because it wasn't like a big public thing, but they are doing replacement discs for The Wiz. If you got in on that first printing that they had where it was missing a couple lines of dialogue. So if you pre-ordered that one, because they took that thing down pretty dang quickly. Yeah. Check out that. They also, I didn't post it today because I expected to have at least one of the announcements to cover, and Criterion did not post their announcements today. But we found out through Variety today that Criterion will be releasing 3 Neon titles on physical media this year. We've got Sentimental Value. We've got Jafar Panahi's new title that is doing very, very well right now. And then the third one is Secret Agent, which I was worried about that one getting a physical disc, so I'm glad that it is coming. Yeah, pretty exciting that those are coming this quickly, and it's not unprecedented. Obviously, last year Nora came out in May, so yeah, it's a nice quick turnaround on those.
So at least one of those should be part of the announcements, hopefully tomorrow.
I assumed that might be why they're delaying, because they had that press release come out today, and maybe they just wanted the news to sit there and have its own time in the sun, and
sure,
then
that makes
tomorrow
sense.
we'll probably get all the announcements.
That makes sense.
All right, so check out Criterion tomorrow. Next up, we got a couple like lower tier MVD labels coming out with their releases. We've got The Box from All 3 Media coming out April 7th. This is a documentary miniseries that played on Paramount Plus, getting a physical media release about police corruption. It's supposed to be pretty good. I've heard some good things about this. Then we've got from the brand new Anchor Bay Entertainment, which is kind of like a ghost of their former selves. We've got the Yellow Bellies from 2013 getting a Blu-ray on April 7th as well. On this, we've got a making of documentary, roundtable discussion, some cast auditions, and other featurettes like that. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Have not heard much, but it is about an all-girl band. And I like music movies, so
I like all-girl band music movies. Those can be good.
They can't all be Josie and the Pussycats, though.
Yeah, or Fabulous Stains.
Well, I don't want to bring it up because it's kind of a sore spot with everybody like dying to get their copy in right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk about anything I know, but I know that it's coming, and it's the delay is legit for what it is.
Supposedly, they should be shipping within the next like 7 to 10 days, I think. So very eager to get that 4K.
Yeah, me too. Very excited.
Speaking of 4K, Signature Entertainment over in the UK is putting out Fall from 2022 on 4K. Did you ever see this one?
I did. I was not a huge fan of it personally, but I get that a lot of people dug it, so I'm gonna shut up.
Yep. I did really like this. I thought it was pretty. From what I'm hearing, and I know that this was a big controversy when it came out, supposedly this is rumored to be the uncut, uncensored version. The UK did not get that version, and here you only got that version if you got the 4K Steelbook, which is such an odd rollout strategy. But the whole reason that they censored this thing to begin with is such a joke to me. If somebody is literally stuck hundreds of feet in the air, there's no way they're not saying fuck. Like, let's be honest. we don't need to blur their mouth and make them say silly words instead of cuss words. Come on.
Yeah, no, there's so much swearing happening constantly. If you're in this situation, there's just not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So check it out if that's what you're into. Okay movie for some people.
Sorry.
No, I understand why it's divisive because it was a fairly nonsensical film. It was just the anxiety got me. I will say that.
I get it.
The movie that premiered today in most of the U.S. 28 years later, The Bone Temple is coming on this 4K Steelbook. We've got a standard 4K Blu-ray and DVD all coming. This was listed for the UK. You can pre-order this now. The U.S. you'll likely be able to pre-order this early tomorrow morning, so check that out. Decent looking Steelbook. Did you see 28 years later last year?
I didn't. Again, I'm woefully behind on my new stuff.
I won't ask again. I'm sorry.
No, keep asking. It's fine. There's going to be one that I'll have seen, but I'm just showing my lack of seeing new stuff. Yeah, no, this I heard a ton of people love the new one. You know, I actually mostly heard positive things about it.
It's an interesting movie. I can understand why some people hate it, but I completely understand. Completely get it. It is an odd movie to make it a zombie movie. Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
Next up, some more from Imprint Asia. March 25th, they're also releasing Riding Alone for Thousands of Miles. This is from 2005. This is the first time on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. This is by Zhang Yimou, really great Asian director that got the Collaborations box set from Imprint a few years ago. And again, brand new, first time on Blu-ray anywhere. That's pretty dang great. There is going to be a making of featurette on here, and that is it. But I'm dying to see this. It's supposed to be pretty damn great. Have you seen much from Zhang Yimou?
Not really, no. I there's a couple in that set, and I can't remember which ones that I had seen, but I'm blanking right now. But this is I love any premiere Blu-ray. That's always really cool.
Yep. I mean, anytime that you and I browse together in a movie store, the first thing that you and I seem to go for is, oh, this never made it past DVD.
I know. I love that stuff.
Always. Next up from them is The Way Home. This is from 2002, also coming on March 25th. This is going to have a making of featurette, a trailer, and that is it. This one sounds really great. It says the South Korean drama, written and directed by Lee Jong-kyung and starring Kim Yul-boon and Yoo Song-ho, was the winner of the best film at the Grand Bell Awards. This is the story of a 7-year-old boy, Sang-woo, born and raised in the big city, and his mute grandmother, who has spent her whole life in a small rural village. At the age of 78, the star of the film had not only never acted before, but also never even seen a movie. Discovered by the director in a country village, she received critical acclaim and was nominated for Best New Actress at the Grand Bell Awards. That's just a fun story.
I like it.
Yeah.
Heartwarming.
All right. Next up, some discotheque announcements. These are all coming on March 31st. All of them are on Blu-ray only. This first one is going to be Voltes 5. This is from 1977 and 78. There is going to be all of the episodes on here. 3-disc release. I don't remember. Are you much of an old anime person?
I like old cartoons, anime. I'm mixed on just as a personal taste kind of thing. Yeah. So this looks a little bit like G-Force to me or Voltron. And so
it does.
I'm intrigued by both
Yeah.
potential things.
Well, if you're not intrigued by that, how about SARS Wars, Bangkok Zombie Crisis?
What?
This is from 2004, when there was never a worry about SARS viruses at all, of course. This looks hilarious.
What the hell is this? That's crazy.
Yeah. This looks wild. Classic discotheque. Next up, Bangkok Dangerous. You've probably heard that title before.
But
related
it's not
to
that one, right?
the one and only Nick Cage. This is the original, the one that was a remake of. This is from 2000.
Oh, cool. I didn't even realize that was maybe I did realize that was a remake, but totally got pushed out of my brain over time.
Well, to be fair, there was also a lot of Asian remakes happening in the U.S. around that time. So this is about a deaf-mute killer stalking the glittering rain-slick streets of Bangkok, guns blazing in total silence. One man, no words, zero mercy. Yeah, I think I need to get this. That's for sure.
Okay, cool.
Next up, Cutie Honey Tears. This is from 2016, and it says, sometimes in the near future, the once bustling city of Tokyo rapidly erodes under the constant downpour of toxic rain, while those on the streets struggle to breathe amid the fumes. The rich and powerful look down upon them within an ivory tower at the city center. With Tokyo under the thumb of a merciless android and her countless assault drones, scant few have dared to buck the status quo. That is until a daring reporter comes across a mysterious woman who just might hold the key to the city's salvation. Not the story I expected when I read this title the first time, but it sounds interesting.
Sure. Yeah, based on that synopsis, yes.
I'm very curious to check this out. It is a good time to push back against fascism, that's for sure.
Always.
Next up, if you are a fan of Lupin the Third, you're going to love these next two titles. We've got Lupin the Third versus Cat's Eye from 2023 coming on that day, and then not this one. I apologize. I forgot the order they were in. That'll be the next one. We've also got Zone of the Enders Perfect Collection from 2001. This contains 2167 Idolo and the complete TV series Dolores 1. But the other Lupin the Third is the TV Specials Collection #1 from 1989 to 1993. They are just releasing all kinds of stuff over at Discotheque. If you're into
crazy,
yeah.
I mean, at least Lupin the Third is something I'm aware of.
I have never seen any of it, but I swear I've read the title Lupin the Third associated with like 807 projects. Just a general reminder that Shelf Shock Rewind Awards voting is still going on until the end of this month. Please get your votes in. It seems like everybody is sleeping early a little bit this year. We are down on our number of votes that we usually get, so check that out and vote if you have not yet. Link is available pretty much everywhere that you can find Disconnected. Warner Archive, somebody that is a favorite of both mine and Brian's. They are doing some incredible work, and some of these are some of their more sought after titles for quite some time. February 24th, we are getting a Blu-ray of Mogambo from 1953. This has a brand new 4K scan of the original Technicolor negatives. We've got some MGM Tom and Jerry cartoons, Just Ducky, and then an MGM Fitzpatrick travel talk short, Land of the Ugly Duckling. Love that. This is a Clark Gable, Ava Gardner film. Have you seen Mogambo?
I am trying to remember. Is this the one that's like, it's like another movie. I'm trying to think. African Queen, maybe. I want to say it's kind of like supposed to be like that.
I believe so.
Have I seen it? God damn. I'm not 100% sure that I have. Not 100% sure that I have. I want to see it.
I have not seen it, but man, everybody in the comments seemed to be after this title for a long time. So I'm glad that people are getting this one. And then this is another big one, Stranger on the Third Floor with Peter Lorre, coming on February 24th on Blu-ray. This is also 4K scans of the original nitrate camera negatives.
Nice.
Big deal. 3 episodes of Peter Lorre starring in the classic radio series Mystery of the Air, Beyond Good and Evil,
Ooh.
Crime and Punishment, and Mask of Medusa. I love the archival stuff that Warner Archive puts on these discs.
Me too, especially when it's that radio stuff. That's really enjoyable stuff.
Yep.
This is another one that I'm like, did I see this or not see this? I can't remember, but I love Peter Lorre, so I may be surprised when I watch it and go, oh yeah, I have seen it, but I'm definitely going to get it.
Peter Lorre, always great. One that I always appreciate. However, this is showing my vulnerability here. This era of film, I've probably seen many of these, but they blend together so much. I never truly know. It's rough because so many of them are the same story, literally. Like some of them adapted from the same exact script, and it's like, God, this is tough.
Sorry, I was just noticing Aaron was commenting about these titles, but also he said he got his standard Fabulous Stains today. Just
yeah, Orbit was sending them out, so Orbit got theirs in super early.
Very cool.
Next, I've been loving the Warner Archive animation that they've been putting out. Specifically, this last year, they've been hitting them hard. They are putting out the Loopy de Loop, the complete collection. This covers from 1959 to 1965. I know that I've seen this. I am not, like, in my mind being able to picture any scenes from this one, though. This is one of the earlier Hanna-Barbera releases that they've been working on. So, yeah, this is a must for me. All of their animated stuff over this last year has been stupendous quality.
Yeah, no, I love their animated stuff. I mean, I love just about all of it, honestly. But this is one that came out on DVD. I had not seen it. Now, I want to say this is a series that was theatrical shorts and not TV, but maybe they include some TV here. I don't know. But that was one thing that stood out. What does it say?
48 theatrical animated shorts.
There we go. So yeah, so that's crazy. So yeah, a rare case of it not being a TV show, but actually a theatrical cartoon that you would have seen in theaters. Yeah. I imagine they ran them on TV at some point too, but
of course.
But yeah, that's exciting. And it was fun. I remember the DVD being a discovery for me and digging it. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. Big time.
And then their last announcement from this month is Tarzan and His Mate from 1934. This is a big one. I know a lot of people are waiting on all of the Tarzan films to come. I'm hoping that everybody gets them. It seems like they're making them at least a bit of a priority. This one is going to have MGM Shorts, The Spectacle Maker, and What Price Jazz. This is a brand new 4K scan of the Best Preservation Elements release. Yeah, not much to say. This is just a huge deal.
Absolutely. No, I'm a big Tarzan movie fan, and I became so because of the proliferation of Tarzan releases on DVD from Warner Brothers. They had the 2 box sets. They had a bunch of one-offs from Warner Archive on DVD, and they've done a bunch on Blu-ray as well. Not a bunch, but a handful. I mean, more. I would love to see more. I think they're a fascinating series of films. I enjoy Johnny Weissmuller, but I also enjoy Gordon Scott. I also enjoy I'm blanking. Jock Mahoney. You know, a lot of the different guys that played Tarzan I find interesting. This is one of the best Tarzan movies in my mind. You know, just when is it 34?
34, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like right on the cusp of the code, and it's pretty racy stuff. I mean, there's definitely some stuff that's gonna be kind of crazy for some folks, and this one in particular is pretty nuts, but I think one of the stronger entries in the classic film series for sure.
You heard it here first. Brian says Tarzan is pretty nuts. All right. We've got just a couple more things to talk about. The first one, I wanted to thank everybody for coming together. A couple weeks ago, or last week actually, talked about a friend of mine that sadly passed away at the end of December, and the Disconnected community came together, and we sent almost $700 to his family. And Robin said thank you and expressed her sincere gratitude. If you'd still like to donate, please check out the links here. Or Deaf Crocodile is collecting donations at checkout over there the entire month of January over on their website. But overall, thank you. This was a big deal, and you guys always answer, and I appreciate that so much.
Wow, very nice.
And the last thing, Well Go USA putting out on March 17th a 4K and Blu-ray release of Lone Samurai. Dear friend of the show, Mr. Josh Hurtado, who is in the chat, or at least he was earlier, is a big fan of this one. He says a 13th century samurai finds himself shipwrecked on an island he believes to be deserted. As he contemplates his existence, it seems like a dignified death at his own hands might be his best solution. However, when he is captured by the murderous cannibal tribe that calls the island home, his survival instinct kicks in. To mix a samurai film with cannibals, I am so in. I just hope that this goes there, but already that synopsis sounds freaking great.
I mean, it is intriguing, I will say, and not even a fan of cannibal films myself, but it's intriguing, that combination for sure.
Josh, since you're commenting still, does this go there? Is there like plenty of blood in this movie, or is it a pretty tame film? I'm very curious how this one's gonna play out. I definitely want to say it or see it, hopefully soon. All right, that is it for the announcements this week. Semi-slow week. Everybody's still kind of coming back from the holidays. In fact, Warner Archive said that they had more planned, but they couldn't get them done because restorations are lagging behind because of the holidays. So, yeah, that is something that I hope that they bounce back from. February could be a big month from them. It sounds
nice. That's cool.
Josh says that Lone Samurai features somebody from the Raid, Yeon Ruhyan. So that's cool. All right. Discussion for tonight is underrated physical media releases from 2025. Josh says it's an existential action film. That's interesting. I trust Josh's taste. I will absolutely check it out. So underrated physical media releases from 2025. There are, I don't know what is the best way to say this. So Shelf Shock Rewind Awards this year, I felt were quite varied on the nominations. Like last year, I think The Hitcher was nominated for like 14 different things. There is no Hitcher this year. There are a couple things that got like 5 or 6. There are some that are going to win at least 4 or 5. I wouldn't be surprised. However, I feel like we got quite a bit all across the board. I also feel like there are a lot of things from 2025 that slipped under the radar overall. So how did you feel about the year in physical media as a whole?
I mean, I should open by saying, and we did this last time too, and I probably said it then, but my categorization for underrated is mostly related to the film itself. It's not always related to the extras. A lot of it for me is about movies that I think are slept on and that I'm excited are getting some kind of physical release. So that's going to be kind of the focus of my group here. And I think that's why a lot of these don't get called out, is because they aren't always like stacked disc and overall great packages. I mean, some of these do have that. But a lot of it for me is just about a movie that I really like a lot that I think needs more attention, and I hope the physical release will get it that, So that's where I'm coming from, just as a point of view. So, but answer your question, I felt pretty good about it. I mean, I got a lot of stuff over here that I could talk about, if we go there. So,
we're going there. I've got 2 pretty large stacks here, so very happy to talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Let's. Why don't you share your first couple?
Okay. Where to start? All right, I'm going to start with like basically a group, because it's all documentaries. I'm going to start with documentaries because I thought there was a lot of great documentaries, and I've got 2 companies in particular that I'm going to highlight, and that is Canadian International Pictures and Oscilloscope. Put out a couple of my favorites too. So the 2. Sorry.
Miss Stephanie Crawford's here tonight.
Oh yeah, hello Steph. Oh, that's so nice. I'm so glad Steph's here. I owe Steph a text or 2. I want to talk to Steph. I'm so glad she's here. All right, so I'll start with CIP. Granted, full disclosure, Elric and I are involved in one of these releases, but part of the reason we're involved is because we love the movie. And so anyway, I'll start with Hookers on Davy, which is a really great documentary about trans prostitutes in Canada. And it's both funny and harrowing and just really, really, oh, thanks, Steph. It's just a really solid documentary. Some really interesting folks that they talked to, and I was just totally swept up in it. It's truly one of my favorite discoveries of the year, on top of which it's, to me, so baller to put out a documentary in 4K. Like, I just I become friendly with David Marriott, who is one of the folks behind CIP, and he is such good people. I can't tell you. Like, David's so one of us, super great guy. I love David. So anyway, but yeah, this has got, tons of features. I can't even I can't even get into like how much stuff is on this disc, but that's par for the course for CIP. They just do great work. But this doc in particular was really great. And the other one is one of Alaric and I's favorite docs, and that's Devil at Your Heels. And we have a couple features on this one, but this is myself for this is always American movie meets Evil Knievel is kind of what it is, because it's about a guy who's trying to jump a rocket car across a river, and he's a character. His name, there's a guy called Kenny Powers in this that is fascinating too. Anyway, this is great stuff. And the two I love from Oscilloscope, both two of my favorites actually. One of the ones I showed my girlfriend is I Like Killing Flies, which is absolutely one of my favorite documentaries ever, to the point where I finally, on the very back, you can see that Kenny Shopson is wearing a t-shirt that says Shopson's General Store. And it's a really funny shirt because the way it's printed, if you fold it up, it's like a Mad Magazine, and it says "Eat Me." It makes so I was showing my girlfriend this movie, and she loved it. Her mom loved it, and I was like, I got to get one of them damn shirts. So I went to the website, and Shopson's is still around, and they still sell the shirts. So I finally got myself a Shopson's t-shirt. But anyway, it's about this little diner in New York. They've moved around since this doc came out in like 2004, but he's such a character, he's his own sort of blue collar philosopher, but it's also a food doc, which I actually kind of love. I bought his cookbook, and his cookbook is great too.
Nice.
I just love this. And it's got a Cooking with Kenny short film included. And the other one is Bennett Miller's The Cruise with Timothy Speed Levitch. This is the movie that sort of launched him to show up in Linklater movies like Waking Life and other stuff. And it's just Timothy Speed Levitch is, at the time, he was a tour guide for New York City tour buses. And he is just, again, a character, the kind of guy I love to see in a doc, where he's incredibly intelligent, and it just has all these incredible existential theories about the city itself and his relationship to the city and the history of the city. He knows just everything about it. It's incredible to hear him give one of his little tours. So these two are, I think you can get them from Amazon, but they're also available through Oscilloscope, and had been a long time coming to Blu-ray. I Like Killing Flies had been out of print on DVD for years and not really streamable, whereas The Cruise you could stream at least on VOD. Anyway, those are 4 docs that I love, and I was so psyched came out on disc this year.
Before I share my my first 2, I pulled out. I did have 1 doc actually, so I will glom onto yours real quick. This one's a new one, but I feel like people are sleeping on this and did not actually check it out. Music Box released Secret Mall Apartment.
I want to see this so bad.
This is about some dudes that literally lived in a mall for years, and this documentary is really great. I think this release is not being checked out by a lot of people, but there's over 80 minutes of extra stuff, and for a doc that is a modern doc, this is like the type of thing that I want to live up for if we're releasing modern docs on Antenna. So this deserves a lot of love. I'm so glad that this came out. Check it out. You can get it on Amazon still. Really fun story, and nice pairing with Roofman coming out this year. Very similar sort of stories. And then I kind of my first things that I really want to share that wasn't a doc. These are funny because these are going to be like very highly rated releases from this year, but I think that we're just a little jaded. So I want to make sure before I go into like the other stuff that's really kind of not going to get talked about a lot, these deserve extra attention because these are kind of crazy. First, I know that we've talked about it a lot over the last 3 months, but the Sato releases from Vinegar Syndrome's Pink line, this is a huge deal. The fact that we're getting these restored and we're getting a whole bunch of Sato films. Like, we've already gotten 3 volumes, and they've already said there's still many more coming from Sato. Like, this is stuff that people that are into Pink films have been watching these in horribly translated, bad YouTube rips, ripped on a couple sites that I won't even name, that usually not in sync, usually done in a way that you're like, man, I can't really see what the scene is portraying. And to see these restored this way, these releases are incredible, and the fact that we're getting so many, and now pink films are suddenly getting popular. Thankfully for all of us that Vinegar Syndrome is doing it, even though some other companies have been doing it for years, like Synapse through their Impulse line had really been giving a lot of love to pink films, but now Vinegar Syndrome kind of made it sexy again for people to check them out. So yeah, check out more of the Sato releases if you've been worried about it or curious how good they are. Even though they're getting a lot of praise, they deserve a lot more. But the one that I think that is in that category that deserves it even more is the releases from Hammer Films. The Curse of Frankenstein. This came out, and I don't even know where to begin with this. This release is at a level that should be expected of brands that have been around for years, for like the biggest films of all time. And yeah, Curse of Frankenstein is probably maybe the biggest or the second biggest of the Hammer films that they've released through there. But these releases, if you've not seen one on the inside, first of all, like I can't even show you everything that's in here.
Oh my gosh.
All of the extras are incredible. The film itself looks amazing, the restoration. Book-wise, this is some of the better essays from this year. Like, this is...
Oh, look at that thing. Jeepers.
I don't even know how to, like, start the praise on this. And the only reason that this was even, like, I should get this one is because my buddy Brian, who he was in the chat earlier, he was talking about how good the essay... Oh, look, there he is. Curse of Frankenstein from Hammer is my best release of the year. It's insane. He is the one that was like, listen, you need to go read the essays for this if you haven't yet. And I went, okay. And I went and checked them out. And these are mind-blowingly great essays in this release. The extras on every single one of the Hammer releases have been insanely good. The archive work through Hammer and the UK is so far above what we get on stuff from the US. It is insane. I don't think Hammer is getting enough love for what they've done over there. So that's it. I wanted to heap a little bit more praise before I went into the deeper cuts.
Well, and I'll just improvising off of yours. I actually have a video coming out this Sunday that's sort of like more favorites of the year, and one of the ones I included in that is the Hammer version of Captain Kronos, which is, while not quite on the level of that, is also ridiculous. Captain Kronos, by the way, is one of my favorite Hammer films ever. I think it's fantastic. And this set is just, I mean, you got the book, you've got 2 books, basically cards, and then just tons and tons of discs. You have like multiple aspect ratio versions in 4K.
Yeah.
So you have this 166 UK theatrical, one full screen 137 is film version, widescreen 185 US theatrical. You know, those are the UHDs, and then you've got all the Blu-rays and special. I mean, it's just incredible. These are, I don't know. I gotta pay a little closer attention to Hammer after this, because I was just floored by how good this set is. It's fantastic.
Blown away. Yeah.
Now, do you know, is the restoration the same as the Warner Archive 4K that came out?
They are identical. The only thing that is different is the UK release has a bonus disc with which some archival, like very British extras are on there, and that's it. You still get most of the disc extras on the archive disc here in the US, but I will honestly say this is one of those releases where the book that comes with it is likely worth about $15 to $20 by itself, literally.
Wow. Damn, that's good. Okay, where to go next? There's a lot here. Okay. I'll do, let's see. I'll do Fun City. Fun City is a tough one because I don't know, are they underpraised, or what's your vibe about their releases?
I feel like since they left OCN, people just forget they exist. So I try to bring them up when I can, but they're great. That's
great. Okay, well then I'll what maybe my favorite trailer compilation ever made, Welcome to Fun City, I think is just spectacular. I mean, the way he's set this up and organized it by decade, and is including, and I believe all this stuff is newly scanned from 35 elements.
So. Yeah.
So you're not getting just like YouTube rips, and in a lot of cases you're getting stuff that you've never seen on YouTube.
Right.
So it's an incredible compilation, that one. And then I just tried not to go too crazy, so I just picked two. Baby It's You, which is maybe my favorite John Sayles film, pretty close with a couple others, but and this version is a new transfer, and it's got, again, a Bill Ackerman commentary, one of my favorite things to have on a disc, and that commentary is great. And new interview with Sayles, Griffin Dunn and Amy Robinson, Rosanna Arquette, Vincent Spano, Matthew Modine. It's fantastic, and this movie is just so good. So I can't recommend that one enough. And lastly, from them, Lifeguard, which is just a great character study with Sam Elliott as a lifeguard in his probably in his 30s, I guess, but looking at sort of an existential life crisis and meeting a woman who's kind of like wanting to help him, quote unquote, move on. And he has to decide if he wants to move on, or if he wants to stay where he's at. And it's a very relatable movie in that sense, but an incredible performance from Sam Elliott. He's just so good in this. Great movie. And then just a couple from Arrow, and then I'll kick it over to you. This was huge because it'd never been on Blu-ray or DVD that I know of, and that's Enemy Territory. Just a really great siege movie with Ray Parker Jr. as one of the prominents, and an early performance from Candyman. Why can't I think of the actor right now that just passed away?
Let's just wait. I want to see how long it takes.
Yeah. Somebody will post it in the chat in a second. Tony Todd. I got it. Tony Todd.
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah. But yeah, Jan Michael Vincent's in this. It's basically about a guy, an insurance salesman, who has to get a deposit for an insurance. Thank you. In $10,000 in cash in a neighborhood. I want to say did they move it to Chicago, or was it originally in Chicago and now it's New York? Anyway, it's a bad neighborhood, a bad apartment building in the projects, and he basically gets himself in trouble with a local gang called the Vampires, led by Tony Todd, and then they basically are scouring the whole building, trying to kill him, and he ends up pulling some bunch of people into it. This has a commentary from my friend, where is it? Dave Wayne, who runs a video store in the UK that is one of the last Snips video.
Snips,
yeah, and definitely follow Dave on socials. Dave's great, just really knowledgeable guy, and does a YouTube show every week called At the Video Store, which is fantastic because he literally, kind of like you in some ways, but different. Like, he goes through all the new releases he's gotten in, and like I said, just the knowledge base is so solid that there we go. Yeah, top 10. Yeah. But yeah, some nice features on here, and just great to see this. Granted, this is region B locked, but a movie I didn't think we were going to get on any physical format outside of VHS. So that's great. And then Outland is my other pick from Arrow. I really love Outland, a quasi remake of High Noon in space with Sean Connery playing the Gary Cooper role. And it also has Peter Boyle, a very evil Peter Boyle, James Sicking, Francis Sternhagen, written and directed by Hyams. Looks great on this 4K. I was really psyched when this got announced, and I think it's a little underappreciated as a movie in general, but it's got a Western in space kind of vibe, and I love it. So Outland is the other one.
Something that I shared some love for just a minute ago. I wanted to get two of my animation picks from this year in, and Warner Archive kind of quietly, it seems like, killed it this year. The first one I want to shout out is the entire Huckleberry Hound show. This release is massive. First of all, I can't remember the number, and I was trying to look a moment ago. This has a ridiculous amount of content on here. It's like thousands of minutes, literally. I don't know if they've got it listed on each one, but it is like each one of these cases. There are 11 discs total of just Huckleberry Hound, and they look incredible on these Blu-rays. I am so happy to be able to see these all cleaned up. growing. That's not a word. Growing up with these, Hanna-Barbera was such a huge deal for me. I mean, all of it was something that I every single Saturday, hours and hours and hours, and I miss some of these. Some of these I watched and I had not seen in literally 30 years, and put in some of these discs this year and went, whoa, like I remember this exact interaction that I saw when I was like 7 years old, and it just burned straight back into my brain again. Loved that feeling. Absolutely great collection from them. But their best collection this year, by far, Tom and Jerry, the Golden Era Anthology. This covers from 1940 to 1958. And the big thing is this has all of the all of Tom and Jerry from 1940 to 1958. It has all of them. Almost all of them are like very well restored. The do they get the name of it on here? There is okay, it's not on here. There is a collection of like 14 shorts that were from a very specific section that were not restored, and they don't look good on the disc at all. But other than that, the rest of these look incredible, and there are like 114 or 115 total in here. So this is absolutely worth it. The fact that we get all of them and they're uncensored, many of these had never been released on disc before, uncensored. But this release is kind of a miracle that it came together. And in a year when we're talking about Warner getting bought by Netflix and trying to rescue physical media out of the hands of the corporate conglomerate like that, it is important that we continue to get releases like this until we can't. And I'm just glad that they're investing the money into this, because for many people, I'm curious, like, how many Huckleberry Hound complete series did they sell this year? Was it worth the cost for them to actually restore these, or are they supplementing income from elsewhere? Because I'm pretty sure not many people bought the entire Huckleberry Hound collection. But I will say it's absolutely worth it. If you're watching this, if you like animation at all, you should. It deserves a watch. It deserves a purchase. It deserved to be restored. And I'm so grateful for Warner Archive.
Me too. And here's what I'd say about them. I'd like to think that some of their buying base is not well represented online. Like it's older people that don't. That would be my guess, because otherwise I don't think that they're, so altruistic that they're just like, we're going to do this one for the fans, Right. So it has to be something that they've have the data that shows they're selling it, but that set is great. And I had that in my favorites of the year video. I'm glad you brought that in. Just jumping off that, I'll do 3 quick Warner Archive release reviews, and then I got so much other stuff. But these are all, again, about the movies for me. These are movies that are rare and interesting in my mind. First one is Rafferty and the Gold Dust Twins. This is a 70s road movie with Alan Arkin, Sally Kellerman, Mackenzie Phillips, Alex Rocco, and Harry Dean Stanton. And it's one that is... I don't know. It just has that 70s feeling. Basically, Alan Arkin plays an ex-Marine who now drinks a lot and works for the DMV in Los Angeles. And one day he's having his lunch, I guess at Griffith Park or somewhere, and he more or less gets kidnapped by 2 wayward ladies played by Kellerman and Mackenzie Phillips. And they're like, we want you to drive us to New Orleans. And they have a gun. And so he's like, okay, I guess we're going. And it's one of those like 70, it's very much would be like a good double with something like Scarecrow, which is also a great Warner Archive Blu-ray. It's in that area. And this is a movie I'd seen, I think, on VHS, and then, which is a travesty because this is a scope movie. And so if you're watching on VHS, it's horribly cropped. And then there was no HD version of the widescreen forever. So it was just really nice to finally see it fully scope and look good. I just really dig this movie a lot. It's a really interesting one. Next up, we have a movie called Gabriel Over the White House. Joe Dante favorite, a very, again, appropriate movie for right now. I'm just going to read the back. As America despaired during the early days of the Depression, Hollywood met the challenge. Hold on, where is it here? Walter Houston gives a bravura performance starring as a corrupt U.S. president who has a brush with an angel after a near-fatal car crash and awakens determined to right all of America's wrongs now by any means possible. So he really becomes like this aggressively I don't want to say progressive, but definitely, doing the right thing kind of president to a fault, like where he's almost like dangerous in terms of the way he's doing it. But it's really an interesting movie. And I was turned on to it by Joe Dante. I remember Joe Dante saying years ago when like the DVD came out that he was a big fan of this one. And it's directed by, who did this one? Gregory LaCava, who did My Man Godfrey and some other stuff like that. But really great Walter Houston, really enjoyable movie. And then lastly, we got Seven Women, which is the last John Ford movie. John Ford's final movie. And it's about a group of women in a mission in the midst of in China. And they are basically, there's a siege from bandits, and it's intense. It gets intense, and the ending is intense. And I think it's a pretty solid last movie, especially for John Ford, who is a very male heavy filmmaker. Not that he didn't have sympathetic and sometimes progressive females in his films, but this cast is really strong because it's like Anne Bancroft, Sue Lyon, Margaret Leighton, Mildred Dunnock. You recognize the women you don't know the names of, you definitely recognize. And particularly Anne Bancroft is spectacular in this. So, and this is another scope movie that was not really, I mean, you could see an SD version in scope, but it wasn't 16:9 enhanced. And so it's great to have this in that version. So those are some Warner Archives that I dug.
This one is an interesting release because technically neither of the films were released this year on physical media for the first time, but I got to shout out the fact that TerrorVision got the WNUF Halloween Special 1 and 2 into Walmart this year, and it sold so well that nobody could pick them up. Like they were gone pretty much immediately. Everybody was trying to get them online. You couldn't buy them online for the biggest time. I think this was a very encouraging sign for 2025 in physical media. The fact that we can put out a double feature Blu-ray disc in Walmarts for less than $20 that was fully loaded with all of the bonus features that were on the limited edition of each of the films. And that's a lot of stuff because these are anthologies that are made very well, which got a lot of love, a lot of bonus features, and you could get both of those in person in a store for less than $20. Kind of legendary. I love that they were able to do that. Next, I feel like this is turning into a very consistent label, but not one that gets enough attention for getting releases that are not being released by anybody else or anywhere in any way, really. I wanted to shout out one of the Japanarchy releases from 88 Films. So this is Detonation Violent Riders. A lot of the stuff that they're releasing on this line is very good, but because a lot of them are not cult titles, they're more like small crime films or something like that. They get overlooked, I feel like. And most of these are really, really well made. This one, like there's nudity on the back. I can't even show that for one. But there's extras on all these discs. They're coming with booklets, which for 88 Films, that's not always a given. And my big thing, and I talked about it on here the other day when talking about Antenna, prices for many of these releases have gotten so obnoxious that you can't go buy 3 films from one company without spending $120 sometimes. These things are coming out and they're $20 on release. Brand new with an Obi strip, with extras, with a booklet, $20. That's pretty amazing for a great release that you can't get from anybody else. And then the last one in this little batch, and then I'll let you have yours again. This came out early this year, I think, or shipped. I think it announced in January and came out in like April. And now I feel like nobody's talking about this at the end of the year. But Cauldron, even though they had a very delayed box set come out this year, quietly put out some really great titles this year. And one of the craziest, which any nudity on the front? No. If you've not seen this, you absolutely need to check it out. Mad Foxes on 4K. This film is bonkers. I probably cannot show the inside cover. Oh, no, it's the same. This movie is great. Mad Foxes is one that got some Blu-rays overseas with some covers that would make your grandmother faint. This movie is insane. Really fun time, and it's a really high quality 4K. The Blu-rays for this never looked great, and Cauldron, when they finally get something on disc and it's out, you will be very happy very happy that you're getting something from them. Mad Foxes is a winner, and because Bravito Giallo came out this year, I feel like this is getting forgotten. Because the Houses of Doom and all that over the last year and a half has been a ordeal for them. These are getting forgotten, but these are absolutely solid releases. And it's a hard slip. I know a lot of people are into that. It's a hard side loading slip. Comes with the poster. It's a really solid release.
Yeah, I love Cauldron, and Jesse's the best. Incredibly sweet guy. And the Bravito set was great, including Grave Disturbance is like my highlight for that one. That's a movie that I really, really dig and was really psyched. Just jumping on the TerrorVision train for a second. Grow Up Tony Phillips, the Emily Haggins movie, maybe my favorite of her films. Just a really sweet coming of age movie about a kid who doesn't want to give up dressing up for Halloween and has taken a lot of shit for it. I was lucky enough to see this screened as part of Cinematic Void with Emily and the cast there.
Wow.
And that was a great screening. To see that in a theater with people was wonderful. AJ Bowen's really good in the movie too. But Tony Vespi plays the main kid, and he's really solid. But yeah, a great Halloween movie if you want something to get you in the vibe of fall and Halloween.
Yep.
Truly, truly wonderful. And I just love that TerrorVision put this out. It's a really great disc. So that's one. And then I got a stack of stuff from Shout Factory and Scream Factory. The lesser stuff, I think, for me. Black Sunday, really nice looking 4K. I had an import, but this is a new 4K restoration from the camera negative, and it looks really nice. Yep. Just one of my favorite Bava movies. Was really happy to get this in 4K. Fade to Black in 4K, another one that's a new 2025 restoration, and a movie that came out from Vinegar Syndrome years ago, so got some attention, but I feel like this 4K people were maybe not as excited about or not talking about as much. And it has, I think, basically all the extras from the Vinegar Syndrome. Maybe not quite everything, but I think it's pretty much everything. So this is really, you got to get this.
Incredible movie.
Yeah, really great movie. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia on 4K. Nobody's talking about this.
That's true.
Again, this is another 4K scan of the original camera negative. This movie's had a lot of releases. I get it. You know, it's had an Arrow, it's had a Kino. It's had a lot. And I don't know if this fully brings over all the extras that have been included in all those releases, but it does have quite a few, including a new interview with Julie Kurgo, formerly of Twilight Time.
Nice.
And it's got the commentary from the gang, the Sam Peckinpah gang. But yeah, I think a really solid Peckinpah movie. This came up on our favorites of the last 20 years movie draft that we did on Pure Cinema, and that's The Gray. I really love The Gray. It's probably my favorite Joe Carnahan movie, one of my favorite Animal Attacks movies. And this is a really beautiful looking 4K Dolby Vision version of the film. It brings over only the commentary, but I don't think you need too much more in terms of extras. It's a really solid commentary. But yeah, I love The Gray. Absolutely love that movie. Elric does too. And lastly, this one came out at the end of the year, so I think a lot of people just missed talking about it, and that's Cloud Atlas. Yeah. A divisive film that some people are not on board with, and I totally get it. I happen to be one of the people that's on board with it. I think there's something really affirming about it that I get hooked into. But what's really neat is this is a 4K, and it's a new restoration. And again, looks really good. But then it has the new disc that has What is an Ocean, reconnecting the cast and crew with John Donahue, who is definitely on socials, is a very movie guy, and who is Tom Hanks's stand-in and has been for like 23 years. So he basically orchestrates this. And yeah, a lot of it is just Zoom interviews, but he talks to almost everybody, including Tom Hanks, about their recollections of the movie. And it's 2 hours long, and it's a really nice documentary about the movie. So if you're into Cloud Atlas, you're going to love it. It's just great. So I think this one is absolutely not being talked about at all. Really great release, Cloud Atlas.
It helps that John is a producer at Shout, by the way.
It does. It definitely does.
All right. I am not one to be like, ooh, upgrades on many of these titles. But there's one that I pulled that there's a lot of stuff this year that is getting a lot of attention, and those are not underrated. So things like Dirty Work, which was an incredible upgrade, not underrated. Things like Behind the Green Door, which is great, not underrated. It's getting a fairly large amount of attention because it had a big spotlight on it. One film, and I'm going to talk about two from Kino Lorber right now, but one film that I pulled that is an upgrade. It's the only upgrade here that I don't think people either understand that it's a great upgrade or maybe didn't buy it because, just like you were just talking about with one of yours, this had a lot of Blu-ray releases and most of them looked okay, pretty, like, fairly okay. The 4K upgrade on Danger Diabolik is mind-blowing.
Yeah, I almost said this in my group. Good call.
For anybody that has not looked at the 4K release from Kino Lorber, this disc is head and shoulders way above any of the Blu-ray releases that came out. And there was a few. There was a Shout release, there was a Kino release, there was an imprint release, there was a few. I totally get it. And this was a hard call. I think I only got this because it was like a Target sale, so I got it for like $14 right after it came out or something.
Oh, wow.
And I'd heard that it got good reviews, and I was like, well, we'll see about that. No, it is absolutely worth it. Danger Diabolik. If you love this movie, if you love Mario Bava, if you love this era of the like crime films from Italy, this type of very comic focused feeling, this movie is incredible. It looks absolutely remarkable on 4K. This is the upgrade that we all had hoped that it would have been on Blu-ray. It comes now, and it looks better than it's ever been. The other thing, which I also know that you're a big fan of, I feel like there's a lot of people that saw these and let them go by without focusing on them too much. But all of the Dan Curtis Blu-rays from
Oh,
Kino
yeah.
Lorber,
Good call, dude.
they deserve so much more attention. All of these have at least, I think the one with the least amount of things on the release is like 4 items. And even that one has like 2 great ones and one that's still pretty good. So the hit rate on Dan Curtis stuff is extremely high. And these look so much better than I expected them to look. And on top of that, I mean, when you've got Amanda Reyes all over the extras on pretty much all of them, it is really crazy that we got so much in such a short period of time. And I feel like maybe because that happened so quick, people are like, oh, Dan Curtis. And then there's 800 other releases, and who cares? Dan Curtis is in the rear view. Check them all out. They're all worth it. Late Eye Mysteries might be my favorite. I think this is the one that I discovered the most on this time. But they're all really solid releases.
That's a great call, dude. I love that they did so many Dan Curtis this year. I have a lot of Kino, so I'll be quick through these. And some of these maybe folks are already hip to, but I was really psyched to get Vice Squad on 4K. Even if it's SDR, I still think it looks pretty good.
It looks much better.
Right? I think so. And a ton of extras on this one. Just an incredible performance from the one and only Wings Hauser, and Gary Sherman rules. I adore him. And so this was, I guess don't feel like people are as excited about this 4K as I was when it came out. So Death Wish 3, I mean, this is a personal favorite for me. I adore these movies. I think this 4K looks pretty solid, and it's my favorite of the whole group, and it's ridiculous, but it's a lot of fun. That's great. Sneakers, I feel like people were pretty excited about, but maybe, I don't know. I thought that this looks really nice, and it's definitely a movie that people love. So I don't know. It feels like it should be more celebrated. The Ninja Trilogy Collection. I was literally talking to somebody for a podcast today about how exciting it is that we have Ninja 3 The Domination in 4K now because of this set. I don't love Enter the Ninja. That's the weak link in this one for me, but Revenge of the Ninja is pretty great. And, these are fun canon ninja movies. I mean, it's a nice set, I think. Another set, very opposite of that, is the the Alec Guinness Masterpiece Collection. There's some really good stuff in here. I had not seen Lavender Hill Mob, and I highly recommend that. It's an absolute blast. But these are all great. Lavender Hill Mob, Man in the White Suit, Kind Hearts and Coronets, where he plays like 8 roles, is one of the all-time great classic films. And The Lady Killers is obviously the basis for the Coen Brothers remake, which I'm a defender of, but I know I'm like in a room by myself in terms of that. Nobody else likes that movie. But yeah, these look great, and they're just wonderful Studio Canal restorations. They just really, really nice set from them. And then Career Opportunities on 4K is just a personal favorite that I loved getting. Good stuff.
Good movie.
But then in terms of, and then one more, just a reissue that I love, and that's I, Madman. This was on Screen Factory, and I fucking love this movie. It's one of my favorite, like, underseen 80s horror movies with the wonderful Jenny Wright and Clayton Rohner, one of my dudes, from the director of The Gate, and has some cool, stop motion effects, horror book character come to life, is killing people, kind of noirish, but it's great. Good stuff. And then some Blu-ray debuts that I'm excited about. This was a discovery for me. This one's called Fade In. This has Burt Reynolds and the wonderful Barbara Loden, who would go on to be a filmmaker in her own right. And it's just a really sweet, bittersweet story of a small town in Utah where Burt Reynolds and his buddies hang out, and they're shooting. Hollywood is shooting a movie there, and he and his buddies sign up to be drivers for the cast and crew. And Barbara Loden is the assistant editor on the movie, and Burt and her kind of hit it off and have sort of a fling, and it's really sweet. And it's just a really tender and interesting performance from Burt. One of my favorite things I discovered all year. I really, really love this movie a lot. Then Rustler's Rhapsody is a really great spoof Western from the director of Police Academy. And it's not nearly as broad as that. And it's definitely a movie that you watch it and go, oh, he cashed in his ticket because he loved old serial Westerns, singing cowboy Westerns, and was like, I'm going to make one with Tom Berenger that's totally self-aware and bizarre. And I can't even really explain this movie to you, but it's super fun, and it has a commentary, including Max Allen Collins and a friend of both our shows, I think, Heath Holland is on this commentary, which is great. And then last Blu-ray debut I'm really excited about from them is Hot Pursuit, which is a John Cusack movie from the director of Tron, Steven Lisberger, and it is an action comedy in a very action comedy way, meaning like, it's John Cusack trying to catch up with his girlfriend and her family who've gone on vacation in like the Caribbean, and he gets caught up in some sort of intrigue with some bad people played by the Stillers, Ben Stiller and Jerry Stiller. And it has Robert Loggia in it, and again, bringing it back to Cold Blooded. It's so much fun. It's a new 4K scan, and it's got a commentary from a film historian. I'm a big fan of this one. I feel like it's totally slept on. And if you're a Cusack fan, I just think, is it better off dead? No, it's not, but I think it's interesting, and I think people need to check it out. So was really excited to get Hot Pursuit on Blu-ray this year.
I still have not seen that one. I need to.
It's fun.
So I only have a total of 5 left. I've got 3. Well, actually, I think many of these are Blu-ray debuts, so that was exciting for me. I'm gonna breeze through a couple of these because I want to give a couple moments to some other ones. Hyena in the Safe from Celluloid Dreams is getting some attention at the end of the year here from places like Mondo Digital, but I think a lot of buyers just did not check this out yet. And I get it. The Celluloid Dreams came out swinging with some really beautiful 4Ks, and then this kind of unheard of small film came out. It's really great. This movie looks very good. It is absolutely worthy to be part of their release slate. This is only, I think, their 3rd title. Is it Spined? Yeah, number 3. Check it out. It is a very good movie. They're Italian. The titles that they're rescuing are really great. Cannot wait for Black Belly the Tarantula. It's supposed to be coming here in 2026. So we'll see.
So excited.
Yeah. Another very new label. New Wave out of Australia put out a couple titles, and Rubber's Lover got all kinds of attention from a lot of people. but Strange Circus might be my favorite of their first two titles.
Don't know that.
This is a title from Shion Sono, which is a controversial figure for many people, but they seem to have more coming from Sono. So you should absolutely be checking out Strange Circus. This movie is unique, well made, looks beautiful, fun release, really great and strong, like second spine to put out in their slate. And then Criterion. They got a lot of praise this year, and normally I've been one over the last 4 or 5 years to kind of throw some shade at Criterion a little bit, and I still do. They're not perfect at all. One of the biggest things is they don't really put a lot into extras anymore. Some titles they'll do what they can, and they'll throw some supplements in there that they can get some big names on. But if it's a smaller film, they usually don't care all that much. But a big discovery for me, very recently actually. 4K disc of a film that had not got a Blu-ray that was English friendly anywhere in the world. It did get a French Blu-ray, but we got a 4K of Hell's Angels. This is from 1930, and this movie is stupendous. The 4K of this looks ridiculously good. Anybody that has not got Hell's Angels, I would highly recommend this. I think this is one of the better releases from this last year for them, which is crazy because they have released so many great titles this year. A lot of them did not get a ton of love as far as supplements, but Hell's Angels is something that deserves to be on your shelf.
Damn it, I need it. Don't have it yet. Gotta get it.
Last two things. This first one is getting a lot of love because it's Radiance and everybody's paying attention to them. But again, I don't think it's getting enough love. I just did a video with Jason over at Force 5 of favorite releases of the year. And so many people are not talking about Radical Japan. From Radiance. This is a stacked freaking box set. There are 9 films in this box set, and when you're talking about Radiance, you know that there are always going to be mostly like great films, stuff that you've never seen or never heard of, or like absolute stone cold classics. But the big thing, again, kind of like Curse of Frankenstein, that is a box set with 9 films. Look at this book. This is the size of the book that came in a Radiance release.
Damn.
I mean, there was enough time there to fan through like 3 or 4 pages. This is almost 160 pages long. This release is mind-blowing. On top of that, it is such a timely release. There is so much like complexity as far as politics and modern day sensibilities in these films. Check out Radical Japan, legendary release. And the last thing that I really wanted to talk about. Now, this was hyped up a lot by the label that did this. It had a lot to live up to, and I feel like a lot of people got kind of scared to buy this release. But I'm highly recommending everybody check out Norbert Pfaffenbichler's 2551 trilogy from Deaf Crocodile. This is a 4-disc, 3-film set. All 3 of the films here are newer films. Like I think the first one is 2021. So we got 2021, 2023, and 2025, all brand new. They are 3 films. The first one is the shortest. It's at 63 minutes. The other 2 are feature length, 83, 85 minutes. This is subversive, transgressive, experimental cinema. The first film has like an 8-minute strobe light sequence that you're just not ready for. There are visuals in these films that I've never seen anything like this in film. There are sex acts that they claim are simulated in here that I swear are not simulated. Deaf Crocodile had to institute a date clicker on their website to make sure that people are 18 to purchase this.
Whoa.
This is a crazy release. 4 discs, solid supplements. Some of the films on here, obviously it's only 3, but the second and the third one specifically, and really it's the second film that will go there for you. They are some of the craziest movies I have ever seen. And when I saw that they were putting them out and when I saw what the films were, I knew that it was going to be great. But I think that they turned into one of the more special packages of the year. Legendary type of release. Everybody needs to see it. It is so good. 2551 trilogy. The deluxe edition is still available. Check it out.
Nice. Very nice. I probably got about a half dozen more. I'll zip through these real quick. I only picked 2 from Criterion. Both are Blu-ray debuts for me. The first one is Midnight, which is a wonderful screwball comedy from Mitchell Leisen, but it's a script by Billy Wilder and Charles Brackett. Just an adorable film with Claudette Colbert and Donna Michi as a cab driver, chasing her all around Paris, and And I just love this movie. This is truly one of my favorite screwballs that was relegated to DVD only forever, and just really happy to have it on Blu-ray finally. Crossing Delancey is a wonderful romantic comedy from Joan Micklin Silver, who did Chilly Scenes of Winter and oh man, what's her newspaper movie that I'm blanking on right now? I'll think of it in a second. I love Joan Micklin Silver, and this is one of her studio movies, and it's another Peter Riegert movie where Amy Irving works at a bookstore, and she is set up by her Nana's matchmaker to date this guy who runs a pickle store, I guess. It's a family business, and she kind of thinks she's above him, but he's actually really self-assured and interesting. And I absolutely love Peter Riegert in this. And it's sort of like will she, won't she kind of romantic comedy, but love this movie. Love it, love it, love it. And then
Between the Lines was the one you were trying to think of.
Thank you so much. Yes, that is great. And that got a release from somebody, Cohen Media, I think. Yep. 3 really quick ones from Indicator, who always do great work. I still don't have their latest noir box set. I'm pretty sure that will end up being on my list, but I don't have it yet. I prefer their release of Carnal Knowledge to the Criterion myself. They're both great, but this is a movie that I just like that is it got a double release this year, because I feel like it's been not talked about for a little while and harder to see in terms of Mike Nichols' catalog. It's a dark movie.
Killer cast too.
The cast is ridiculous, but you haven't seen Nicholson like this exactly, and I think he does an amazing. And Art Garfunkel's great, Candy Bergen's great, and Margaret's great. It's wonderful. A couple classics for me, like I think both of these actually got releases from Kino, but I'm going to give props to Indicator because that's how I finally watched them, and they're both Henry Hathaway movies. Interestingly enough. Karina Longworth did a great series last year called The Old Man Is Still Alive as part of You Must Remember This, talking about old Hollywood directors like John Ford, Henry Hathaway, Howard Hawks. Go check that out. I think she talked about Peter Ibbotson in that. This is really great. Almost a fantasy romance that has some great dream sequences in it. Really, really dig this one a lot. Anne Harding, I think, is one of Quentin Tarantino's favorite actors. Like, really loves her, and she's really, really good in this. If you don't know her, it's a great showcase for her. And the other one is called Spawn of the North, which is George Raft, Henry Fonda. It's kind of like dueling. It's about fishermen in Alaska, which doesn't sound exciting, but it's way better than it should be, and it feels like a Howard Hawks movie from that period. It's really, really fun. Real quickly, this adventure collection from Imprint, for me, it's number 6. It has a couple things in here that are interesting. King Rat, I still need to check out, but the one that's a Blu-ray debut that I love is this movie called Abandoned Ship. And it's got Tyrone Power, and it's really one of my favorite sinking boat movies. It's akin to something like Lifeboat, because the movie opens literally on the debris field of a sunken ship, and people are just swimming for their lives, trying to grab onto debris. And Tyrone Power ends up kind of being in charge of this group of survivors, and shit gets really intense in terms of what they're dealing with. And so it's a stark and kind of gnarly movie for 1957. Like, it's dark. The shit they have to deal with is pretty dark in terms of the decisions they have to make as a group. But I really like this movie a lot, and it never had gotten even a DVD, I don't think. Maybe it had a one of those studio DVD made on demand. I'm not sure about that, but nice to see it get a Blu-ray. So that set is worth it for me for that alone. And then lastly, well, actually I got 2 more things and I'll shut up. Sorry. Frailty, I guess, is probably rightfully praised, but I think the Lionsgate 4K of Frailty is a pretty wonderful set.
It is.
And I just want to call it out as a movie that I think is fascinating and a really interesting. I think it was his directorial debut, Paxton. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I feel like it was.
Yeah, but it's a great directing and acting performance. Just one of my favorite Lionsgate limited releases of the year. And then lastly, this one's kind of mean because I think, and also is it underrated because it's sold out, but I just couldn't be more excited that we got the movie Orgy from AGFA this year. A movie that rightfully never ever did I think we would get a home video release of it. I mean, for those who don't know, it's like basically the first video mixtape mashup that Joe Dante and John Davison did in the late 60s, where they took, their 16 millimeter print collections and basically put together this crazy stream of consciousness assembly of clips and commercials and other little bits. Basically, if you watch this movie and then you watched Amazon Women on the Moon, you kind of get a sense of like, this is the beginnings of that idea. I like Amazon Women on the Moon a lot, but it's a movie it's not even a movie. It's an experience. And I know Joe Dante was not even that psyched about putting it on home video because I know he'd like it to be more of a crowd movie. Like you go see it with a crowd and you can the way it's set up, it's 4.5 hours long in this cut. And you can walk in and out if you saw it in a theater. And they toured college campuses in the late 60s. I think Schlitz Beer sponsored them and they would just play it for free and sell beer. And I guess, AGFA was able to figure out fair use wise how to release it. But it was such a hot seller that I don't know if they're going to do reprint. I know they sold like 5,000 copies of it within like a few days.
The standard will still be available for sure.
I hope so. Okay, yeah. So definitely pick up the standard. It's like I've only watched like 2 hours of it, but it was absolutely mesmerizing. And it's put together in such a way that like it's edited where one clip is talking to the next clip, and that's not always the case, but sometimes they're just so well put together. And it's sourced from the original 16 millimeter elements that Joe Dante had, and has a little intro from Joe, and has a wonderful booklet with some essays and interviews. This is truly one of my favorite physical media releases of the year. I think it's such a neat thing that the movie Orgy's out. I can't tell you. So I want to throw that one in at the end.
It is a legendary type of release. It is crazy that we got it. I also just want to say it's been a year of legendary releases. I feel like the last year and a half has been at least once a month there's an announcement that happens, and we're all just like, how we're getting this? We never saw that coming. And I just hope that we keep that energy coming. 2026 has already got a lot of stuff rumored to be coming, and physical media doing quite well at the moment. And seemingly with streaming in a rough spot with prices and with politics right now and all of this kind of coming to a head, I genuinely feel like we are in a period where people are going to make the change to come back to discs. I've seen people that have never asked me questions about any of this go, hey, what's a good DVD player to get? I'm like, well, let's talk about something different first. Let me introduce you to my friend Blu-ray. But people that have never thought to care about this at all are suddenly like, oh, I'm noticing I can't watch half of these movies I want to see anywhere, and I'm still paying like $85 a month. I could be doing so much better. So
yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Brian, anything fun coming up that you want to tell people about on Pure Cinema or Just the Disc or anything?
Oh yeah. Actually, we have a new series on Pure Cinema that is exclusive to our Patreon. It's something I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, but we love film discoveries. We love to talk about that sort of thing. So this is a Patreon exclusive show for our $5 tier, and it's just called Film Discoveries. And so it's me or Elric at some point talking to people that are friends of the show that we want to just sit down with and get like 5 movies, older films they've come to in the last year or so. And I've got 3 episodes out already. One is with Bill Ackerman. That's the first episode. Fantastic. Bill, of course,
always great.
He brought way more than 5. He brought like 30 movies in that first episode, and they're all great. I talked to Chris Ryan from The Ringer for the second episode. Then I did one myself that's just me rambling about like 40 movies that I've never talked about on the show before that I just couldn't fit into an episode.
Right.
So that's sort of a bonus. But but it's going to be at least a monthly show, and it'll be in addition to our Blu-ray episodes and our
Nice.
bi-monthly hangouts. And so we're really trying to emphasize bonus content on the Patreon this year and hoping to get more people involved there. I know, it's a tough time financially for people, but we're hoping that $5 a month is something that is sustainable for people, and we're trying to make it worth their while. And I would like to think that the film Discovery series alone will make it worth it, because there's a lot of stuff that people are pulling out that has either never been covered on the show or hasn't been talked about in a while. And I'm just having a lot of fun doing it already. So definitely look for film discoveries on the Pure Cinema Patreon if that's something you'd be inclined to check out.
Yeah, and honestly, I never do a good enough job promoting stuff on my own, but I really just a kind of overall general thing to say, if you can, there are a lot of people struggling right now that are working hard to bring things to the world, and if you can find it in yourself to support creators, it's a good time. Patreon is something that is kind of a must for some people just to keep things going. A lot of the stuff that we do takes money to be able to create for people. So for mine, if you sign up at the $7, you get into the Discord, which I think is the most welcoming film community on the internet. Perhaps I'm so proud of the environment that it has become. $12 will get you the background on the label that is happening right now, Antenna Releasing, giving kind of some clues and stuff that we're doing behind the scenes that'll be coming out more and more regularly now that it's a public entity. Starting next week, that will be a thing. But also the magazine. You can subscribe and get a copy of the Physical Media Advocate straight through the Patreon. I'll send that to you every single month.
Nice.
And lots of other people have Patreons. Check out lots of people. The Sin Syndicate is one of my favorite Patreons. They've been doing some great stuff. Just find somebody that you love. Throw them a couple shekels. They'll appreciate you more than you know.
Absolutely, man. Couldn't agree more with that.
All right, Brian. Well, this is great. I'm glad that we could get you back on instead of waiting another 3.5 years like the first time.
Yes, I'd like to do this a little more regularly in the future, and I should be able to.
Amazing
at this point, but it's an honor to be back, and it's always a pleasure. Love chatting with you, sir, and it's been nice. For those that don't know, we had some chats outside of this show earlier this week that'll rear their heads later in the next month or so. But that was lovely as well. And again, huge congrats on Antenna. I'm so excited. Just such a lovely venture that just sounds great to me.
Thank you. I hope it's is something that everybody else is looking forward to, because man, it's taken up a lot of time. I will say that.
Sure it has.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out this week. Next week, first time guest on the show, Michael Vyers from the Shameless Picture Show will be here from the Cineplex Network. So come check it out. It's going to be a great time. Till next time, Brian, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share it with someone else that may appreciate this.